fall, football, Friday Night Lights. High school football on KSUU Thunder 91.1 is brought to you by Hermes Drive-In, by Township Pharmacy, $5 Pizza, by Wendy's, Ogden's Flooring and Design, and by Brad's Food Hut. With kickoff just moments away, let's head to the field for tonight's gridiron action on Thunder 91.1.
Friday, October 23rd, round one of the UHSAA State Football Championships, 4A football, and these two teams, Crimson Cliffs, the home, Canyon View, the visitor, find themselves in the lower half of Region 9 bracket, but Crimson Cliffs did enough to earn a home game. Canyon View just outside that home game territory in the final seedings of the RPI, and so that brings us to tonight's matchup. Canyon View at Crimson Cliffs. I'm Ryan Steinekert. Alongside me is Thomas Dianella. And Thomas, these teams, it's been an interesting season for both. Crimson Cliffs has competed real well with most of Region 9, but didn't win a lot of games. Canyon View, on the other hand, a 3-win start to the season, but they've lost 7 straight in Region 9 play. Definitely.
Canyon View's had a rough season, but Crimson Cliffs, the record isn't that much better, but when you look at their game-by-game stats, they are. They've held Desert Hills to 14 points in the loss, Pine View to only 21 points, and those are two of the top teams in Region 9. And seeing them hold them, getting a loss is never fun, but holding a top team low scoring games, that's always a moral win in their book.
Right. It's an interesting, if you dig into the scores and look at what Crimson Cliffs did against, as you said, Pine View, or against Dixie, against Snow Canyon, compared with what Canyon View did against those teams. And what it comes down to is Crimson Cliffs competed well, and Canyon View did not. In Region 9, Crimson Cliffs is scoring 16 points a game and allowing 22. On the flip side, Canyon View is scoring a little more, 17, but allowing almost 50 points per game. Their defense just hasn't been there.
Yeah, Canyon View, as overall, scores 26 points a game, but that also includes 40-point performance against Payson, a 61 performance against Grand County, and 41 against Enterprise. And those three teams are non-conference, non-region, and their wins, they count for wins still, but not in region, and this is where it counts now.
Right. It's a little deceptive if you look at their overall points per game and even points allowed, because they've struggled so badly in Region 9 play. Again, this is the Wendy's pregame show. Wendy's in Cedar City, and Hurricane is proud to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth of this area. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll hear from Wendy's. We'll tell you more about these two games, or these two teams, and they played once already this season. We'll tell you about that right after this on Thunder 91.
Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening. Drive-up and delivery is available, and they have plenty of specials to choose from. Wendy's of Cedar City and Hurricane. Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event.
So Canyon View comes in with an overall 3-7 record, but 0-7 in region, and it's pretty simple. They won their first 3 games. They lost in region play. Their closest game in the region was against Hurricane, a 7-point loss, 35-28, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
They competed. They had a real good first half against Desert Hills, actually had a lead at halftime, but Desert Hills with a big second half. Other than that, Canyon View really, I mean, they had a good start against Cedar, led, I think, 14 or 16-9 or some weird score like that. Remember that one at SUU. But other than that, I mean, really overall, they just have struggled against these very good Region 9 teams.
Definitely. I've been to a couple of the games this season, and I have favoritism for them from that. But it hurts to watch sometimes because their big struggle is giving up penalty yards. I've seen them give up 40 yards in a matter of 3 plays without the ball being snapped. that just can't happen.
Interesting you bring that up. When these teams met earlier, or no, that was against Desert Hills that Canyon View had, I think, 15 or 17 penalties in the game. And when they played against Crimson Cliffs earlier, it was 9 penalties for 94 yards. Now, that's not excessive, that's not crazy, but that's almost 100 yards against your team that either hurts you or helps the other team.
It's free yards, and as a defense, you never want to give up free yards.
Right.
As an offense, it puts them back out on the field later, and it just hurts the team overall.
Crimson Cliffs pulling out all the stops tonight. They've got some smoke bombs, and the players running out with those in their hands, the red smoke as they come out onto the field here at Crimson Cliffs. And I got to say, this is so Crimson Cliffs is in its second year of playing football, of being a high school, and boy, this facility is unbelievable. It's beautiful.
It is. This is the first time being out here for me. I lived in St. George here for a bit. I went to Pineview my freshman year. This wasn't even talked about that much. It was down the road. But I've never been out here and seen the development on the drive here. That was amazing. It's amazing feel, amazing facility so far.
Crimson Cliffs in its history 4-15, again just in its second year playing football. This season 3-6 after a 1-9 year last year. They've gone 2-5 in Region 9 and showed some great improvement. We talked about how well they competed with Pineview, losing just 21-7. That was I think one of Pineview's lower scoring outputs of the season. And only Highland High School, which is a big school up in Salt Lake, held them to 21 points as well. So that's saying something about Crimson Cliffs defense.
Yes, it does. They have a big reason for that. Their big D lineman, Mark. I'm gonna butcher this name. We're probably gonna butcher it a couple times today. It's Marley Salanoa Sagapolu, excuse me, and he's their big monster up there on the D line. Watch some film of him. It's fun to watch.
Oh yeah, he's a beast. The first name, I think, if I wrote my notes correctly when I asked the coach how to pronounce it, Fasi To'otai is the first name. They just call him Marla. That's a little bit easier. We can handle that.
I hope I can handle it.
We should talk a little bit about Canyon View, because now, even though they're 3-7 this year and they haven't won in Region 9 this season, they still, and maybe it's hard to look at it this way at this point for Canyon View, but compared with last year, just 1-9. This year they've won 2 games more than that. Jake Garrett, as a sophomore, has thrown for 1,680 yards and 17 touchdowns. So this is a team that's making some good strides, and if their defense can make some stops tonight, if their offense can come alive like they didn't the last time they played Crimson Cliffs, this could be a game.
Yep, Jake Garrett, obviously the leader in that as the quarterback. The team works well throwing screens and short routes, but he can also throw it deep when he has time. Love to watch it. Also, Gunnar Hatch in the backfield. I love to watch him. He finds the hole, and he's always off the race. He's got good separating speed, and he finds his blocker and finds the hole.
He's got that low center of gravity, 1,055 yards so far rushing this season. We'll take another quick timeout for the national anthem. We'll be back with the kickoff in a moment on Thunder 91.
Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening. Drive-up and delivery is available, and they have plenty of specials to choose from. Wendy's of Cedar City and Hurricane. Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event. Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy.
Crimson Cliffs Band, the national anthem. Canyon View 3-7 overall. Crimson Cliffs 3-6, and Crimson Cliffs finishes 15 in the final RPI. Canyon View number 18. Overall, historically, Canyon View has struggled in a tough region. Just 49-179 in 23 years of playing football. And as I mentioned, Crimson Cliffs 4-15 overall. Take a quick look at the coaches. Chris Sawyers of Canyon View from Carson, Nevada High School, and then Fort Lewis College. This season is third year and an overall record of 7-23. As for Jaron Tate, he's a Canyon View High School graduate, attended Southern Utah University, and is in his second year coaching the Mustangs.
Yep, second year for Jaron Tate, second year for Crimson Cliffs entirely. And they got promise so far. They got some good players so far. And they might get a playoff win tonight.
Right, and you see how things go sometimes. You look at, at new teams, and a recent memory comes to mind of like the Golden Knights of Vegas in hockey and how well they did their first year making it to the Stanley Cup Finals, right?
Yes.
Thomas? And so sometimes you had those expectations of a new school. We're going to start hot, but really it does take some time to build those programs most of the time. And look at what Jaron Tate has done from last year's 1-9 to this year's 3-6, and possibly 4-6 after tonight, depending on how things go.
Yes, a big piece of it. Their defense has improved a lot. Part of that is also with the tackle Marley. Last season they gave up 34.8 points per game. This season they're only giving up 22.9. That's a big piece to their team and their success, and it's going to be a big reason tonight.
This pregame show has been brought to you by Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane. So Canyon View, looks like Crimson Cliffs won the toss and deferred, and Canyon View will receive. Now for Canyon View, Thomas, how big of a key do you think it is to not necessarily score, but have some offensive success on this first drive, avoid the 3-and-out?
They definitely need some momentum right out of the gate. They're a emotional team. They'll ride it the entire game if they start hot. And if they drive at least to the 10 and even just come away with a field goal, that'll help the team morale and definitely help them throughout this game.
Canyon View in the road whites with their dark helmets, silver numbers on the front and back, white
clean
pants.
Uniforms, I like them.
Clean.
Yep.
They're clean and simple, have a little glitter. You ready for some football? Adrian Ward back deep to return, along with, I believe that's Cody Callison. We've seen Xander Larson back there returning kicks some this season as well. Crimson Cliffs in the home dark uniforms. Their colors red, white, and blue. The blue is like a navy blue. It's almost like the Patriots, New England Patriots colors, at least.
I also see the Texans in there as well.
Yeah, that's maybe a closer one right there. Good observation. So Crimson Cliffs will kick from our view right to left. That's south to north here at Mustang Field. Kick deep. Ward comes up and fields it at the 4 for Canyon View. Out to the 10, 20, up the middle of the field. Makes a move at the 25 and brought down at the 27.
27, solid return for the first return of the game. I think Canyon View will take that, and they got to be happy with that field position. Definitely could be worse.
Adrian Ward has been a dangerous player for this team. He ripped off a big, 73-yard or 67-yard touchdown run against Cedar. And he didn't play the first few games of the season, but certainly has been a dangerous part of this offense. 278 rushing yards, 5 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Garrett from the shotgun, quick throw over the middle. He's got Ward in and out of his hands, incomplete.
That would have been a good game to start off the bat. That would have been that momentum they were looking for.
Certainly would have been, boy. And the defense not ready for that quick slant from Adrian Ward.
I wasn't quite ready for that play. I was still looking around. Next time I looked over, the ball was already in the air.
I like this play call because Gunnar Hatch is such a solid running back, and it's tough to split time him and Adrian Ward. But if you can get Ward out on some routes, get him the ball in other ways, that can be very effective. Trips to the right. Garrett takes the snap. Hatch with the handoff. Nowhere. He's stuffed in the backfield back at the 24.
That's a solid D-line from Crimson Cliffs, especially right off the bat. That's going to get momentum going their way. And I'm a lineman guy myself, so I'm always rooting for the line. I love to see it.
Those big boys got great defensive penetration. As soon as Hatch got the ball, he was swallowed up.
He had no room to go. Only way he could go was down.
Canyon View on the left hash, attacking left to right from our view. Ward the slot back on this near side, on this right side of the Canyon View offense. Trips right, one receiver left, and Hatch on the right hip of Garrett. Takes the snap, rolls to his right, finds some time, throws deep over the middle, and looking for Ward, who cut off his route. It falls incomplete.
I think there had to be some miscommunication there on the routes. Saw the receivers looking at their play cards on their wrists. Must have been a mix-up right there, but 3 and out to start the series, start the game. Hurts Canyon View's momentum, but they hope defense can shut it down right off the bat.
Now looking back at the last time these teams played, Gunnar Hatch had 139 rushing yards. Canyon View will need him to be big tonight. And it started much the same way. Canyon View got the ball first, punted, Crimson Cliffs got it, and they went down and scored. So we'll see what, if anything, changes tonight. A good snap, and the punt partially blocked by the Mustangs. Takes a Mustang bounce at the 31, and Canyon View downs it there. So Crimson Cliffs will start with excellent field position.
That's got to hurt the Falcons, and Falcon coaches can't be happy with that. The punter and kickers are one of those players that you do one thing great, no one notices. Do one thing bad, everyone notices. You know he's feeling bad right there.
Change at quarterback for Crimson Cliffs. Tyler Brown, the regular quarterback most of this season, but it looks like Chase Hansen, number 10 and a junior, takes the snap. Gives to Creed Leonard, right side, has a hole, breaks a tackle, spun around to the 20, to the 15, spun down at the 12.
I love watching Creed Leonard work. He's one of their focal points of their offense, and he's a slippery back. You saw it there. He beat one defender and just kept going.
They'll spot him down at the 13, an 18-yard gain for Creed Leonard. He ran all over, around, and through Canyon View the last time these teams met. 13 carries, 154 yards, and you may remember 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns, yeah, that speaks to my point. He's his guy. That's who they're going for.
2 receivers left, 2 wide right, ball on the right hash. Hansen in the shotgun, takes the snap at the 13. End around and the fly sweep and diving to the 11. Not much of a gain, but a little bit of something.
They got Chase Hansen in there, not their normal quarterback, but they're starting off with some jets and some runs. You have to imagine that's probably their game plan going forward, especially with Creed Leonard. That's probably what they're going to rely on today.
Easton Drew Bay, the ball carrier. He is second on this team in rushing yards with 195. He's lined up on the right side in the slot. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Back to throw, out to the right side, knocked down. Incomplete.
That was good penetration by the DN right there. Good, perfect positioning, just put a hand up and knock it down.
That's what they teach you, especially the DN. If you don't get to the quarterback, get those hands up when you see him go to throw.
At least throw them up and just hope
right.
The ball finds you.
So Canyon View forces the incompletion. 3rd down and 7. Well, we'll call it 8 from the 11-yard line of Canyon View. Crimson Cliffs and Canyon View, no score here on Thunder 91. Man in motion, left to right. Hansen back to throw, over the middle, caught at the 1 and diving down just shy of the end zone. 1st down and a little bit more.
They almost swatted that one down. He threaded the needle on that one. Just narrowly missed the defender's hands there.
That was caught by Jackson Ritchie all the way down to the 1-yard line, so a 10-yard gain. And, boy, what a catch. That was a sharp pass on the slant. Look for some Creed Leonard here. I would be surprised if we don't see that. Indeed, the give is to Leonard. He starts up the middle, cuts back to his left, pushes forward, and breaks free of the pile. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Crimson Cliffs.
That was just an easy touchdown from about the 1. Their big boys there won the fight, and they got Leonard in there easily.
And one of the things that makes Leonard tough is just he keeps churning those legs. He almost refuses to go down. And we saw it there. He was in the pile, and then all of a sudden he's out of the pile celebrating.
Yep. That's every coach's dream. You love just to see him keep going, keep that high motor.
Just before the snap, a flag flies in. Whistles blow it dead. And we may have a false start here. No, an offsides against Crimson Cliffs.
Saw one of the D linemen sneaking in there early, down on the ground right away.
I said against Crimson Cliffs, that's against Canyon View. Crimson Cliffs declines the penalty, and they'll just try this extra point again.
You're just at the 2-yard line. Doesn't mean much to get an extra yard there and go for a pass. Sometimes kick is the easiest choice, and as it was there, as the kick goes through the uprights.
5 plays, 31 yards, a minute and 44 seconds off the clock, and Crimson Cliffs leads 7-0 here at Crimson Cliffs in the playoffs. First quarter is brought to you by Ogden's Flooring and Design. They welcome you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City, and they're happy to present this athletic event. So not the start Canyon View was looking for. Probably just about the start Crimson Cliffs wanted, right?
Exactly. I have to imagine Crimson Cliffs couldn't have written it any better, starting from the 30. An easy drive, especially with their big boys in Creed Leonard. They're going to rely on them to score their points, and that's what they did right there. Canyon View's got to hope for something here, at least move the ball, at least keep it going, keep a drive sustained.
Canyon View on that first drive, first down, incomplete pass, second down, run for negative yards, puts them in a tough spot for third down. And we've seen that a lot from them this year.
Yes.
Getting themselves in third and long situations, which are tough to convert. Crimson Cliffs kicking off, 9:06 left in the first quarter, 7-0 Mustangs. Kickoff to Cody Callison. He fields at the 11 on the left hash, out to the 20, hit and breaks a tackle at the 25, then into a pile, and the whistles blow as he gets out to about the 24. The 29.
He pushed there for about an extra 5 yards with his team surrounding him. I have to imagine those are the big boys on the kickoff returns. That's why you put them out there.
They'll spot it right at the 30-yard line. Jake Garrett completing 55% of his passes this season, 0 for 2 on that first possession. Canyon View went 3 and out. Again, if you're just joining us, the punt was partially blocked, and Crimson Cliffs got great field position at the Canyon View 31. Again, our first quarter is presented by Ogden's Flooring and Design. We welcome you tuned in on Thunder 91, KSUU-FM. Hatch out into the flat, and quick throw. Caught Tyler Main, had it in his hands. Ball squirts loose, and the official, the line judge on this side, says no, incomplete. Crimson Cliffs fell on the loose ball.
That has to be rough to watch as a Canyon View fan. Rough first drive, and first play of the second drive, almost a fumble.
It's an interesting situation when you want the pass to be incomplete as an offensive player, but that's exactly what the Falcons wanted. Ball on the left hash for 2nd and 10. Falcons at their own 30. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right, and again Hatch in the backfield on Jake Garrett's right hip. The snap and flags fly in again. A false start. Canyon View kicking themselves in the foot.
Like I said in the pregame, the penalties are going to be their demise, especially if they're giving free yards on a false start. One of those that you just can't take.
So, again, the incompletion on first. Now you're in 2nd and long. They need to pick up at least 7 or 8 yards here to give themselves a shot on 3rd down. 3 receivers, or 2 left, 2 right. Garrett takes the snap from the shotgun, flushed out to his left. Stops, heaves down the field. He has Tyler Main going up and making the catch. No, that's Cody Callison at the 35 of Crimson Cliffs, a first down and more.
What a catch there. I love seeing Canyon View. They do throw deep when they can. They have big play potential. Sometimes they shoot themselves in the foot. They show what they can do on plays like that, though.
35 yards to Cody Callison. What a grab over the he had a defender in front of him, one behind him, and he came down with it.
That's one of those 50-50 balls that you throw up when there's nothing there. He found something there, luckily.
Cody Callison, that's his 24th catch of the season, puts him at almost 300 receiving yards. And Canyon View, this guy keeps this drive going.
That 35-yard catch is now his longest of the season, 34 before.
There you go. Garrett takes the snap, looking to his right. Fakes the throw, and then throws over the top for a deep out to Tyler Main, overthrown, incomplete.
Just overthrown. Maybe 2 or 3 steps, and Main would have had another big gain right there.
This is with the other than that completion moments ago to Cody Callison, Jake Garrett just 1 of 5 again. He's got a 55% completion rate this season.
He's not going to make every pass, but he's going to get you good passes when he can.
2nd and 10, 2 receivers left, 2 right. Ball in the left hash. Canyon View was mostly set. Then they stand up, look to the sideline, and call an audible. Hatch moves to Garrett's right hip. The snap and give to Hatch. Up the middle, picks his way inside the 30, down to about the 28. And a solid gain on 2nd will bring up a 3rd and short.
3rd and short. Falcons can't ask for much more, especially after that first drive where they couldn't get anything going. They got something going. They're now at the 25, 26-7 now.
27-yard line for 3rd and 2. You needed 6 or 7. You got 8 from Gunnar Hatch, and now an official's timeout. Not sure what they're looking at or discussing. Our broadcast tonight is brought to you in part by Hermes Drive-In, happy to sponsor youth activities in our area. They're located just north of the City Park on Main Street. Hermes features burgers, shakes, fries, and soft drinks, and a variety of other items, including scones. Hermes, 294 North Main Street, Cedar City. Well, the discussion ends. Ball still at the 27-yard line for a 3rd and 2. Garrett takes the snap, gives left side. Hatch breaks a tackle, picks up the first down and more inside the 20. Finally driven down out near the sideline at about the 18.
I love to see runs like those. He followed his blocker. Only had to make one man miss before he got a big gain.
To the 19, another 8-yard gain. And it looked like that defensive end had containment. Hatch had to make him miss, did so, and found that hole.
There's times offensive coordinators that they plan up plays for just make one man miss. That's part of the play call sometimes.
That's part of why Hatch has almost 1,100 rushing yards this season. Handoff again to Hatch, bounces around the left side, breaks 1, breaks 2, can't break 3, and he's brought down in the backfield, loss of 3 or 4.
Crimson Cliff's D-line just penetrated that, looked like a counter play to the left, but blew it up so that those left guard and tackles were 3 yards in the backfield. Hatch had nowhere to go.
And that was Marley, who we were talking about early, Salanoa Sagapolu, helping out on that tackle for Crimson Cliffs.
Watching some highlights of him earlier today, he can do some damage himself. He clears up blockers for everyone else, or clears up paths, and take on 2 or 3 blockers at a time by himself.
Loss of 4, 2nd down and 14. Garrett, snap, rolling to his right, pressure coming, throws, picked off. The cornerback jumped the route, he's out to the 20, 30, to the 40, down the sideline. One man can catch him and does at the 30 of Canyon View, and a big return after the interception.
Jake Garrett had not much he could do there. Flushed out of the pocket and back into the backfield. Would have been a loss of 10 if he just took the sack. Turned into a loss of 40 after that pick there.
So Garrett 1 for 6, 35 yards and an interception to start this game, and Crimson Cliffs will start again with excellent field position. A sideline warning during the return against Crimson Cliffs. Of course, on a sideline warning, the first time is just a warning.
You got to control that energy, especially. Hard to control that energy after a big pick like that, in a playoff game especially, but you got to keep it under wraps if you want to keep it moving.
Crimson Cliffs, if you told me they could start the first drive at the 31 of Canyon View and then they have even better field position for their second possession, I'd say no, probably not.
Something that only happens in Madden sometimes if you're lucky.
Right. They're starting at the Canyon View 30. Hansen takes the snap, gives to Creed Leonard up the middle, and he just pushes forward for 3 or 4.
Solid push there from the offensive line. Leonard could have walked for 3 or 4 yards there, just followed behind him.
Good blocking right up the middle. Under 6 minutes to go, first quarter. Crimson Cliffs leading 7-0. They scored on their first possession.
They're threatening here from the 26.
Knocking on the door. Ball on the left hash. Crimson Cliffs attacking right to left from our view. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. They spread things out and then try to give it up the middle quite a bit to Leonard. Man in motion again. The snap, quick throw out to the man in the flat, right side to the 25, 20, around the right corner, down the sideline, lowers the shoulder and finally shoved out about the 11. Gunner Orr. Sorry, go ahead.
Earlier I was saying that Canyon works well with screen passes and short routes. Crimson Cliffs got the first big play out of those there.
15 yards and a first down. And Chase Hansen, the backup quarterback for this Crimson Cliffs team, has started well. 2 for 3 for 25 yards. First down and 10. Canyon View 11. Crimson Cliffs leads 7-0. Hansen gives to Leonard up the middle. Starts left, goes back straight down the field to the 6, and he's stopped there. Gain of 5.
Yeah, Chase Hansen, he's only completed 50% of his passes this season but an average of 12 yards per pass.
14 of 28, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks coming in. 5 yards on that carry for Leonard. Brings up a 2nd and 5. Crimson Cliffs can get a first down around the 1. Hansen, snap, quick throw over the middle, and a great read by the Canyon View defender to knock it loose incomplete. Jake Tom, I think, the defender.
Just good coverage there from the defensive back. Perfect positioning, and he could have just stood there and as a wall. Cause that pass to be deflected.
Tom, the rare guy who plays tight end on offense, but he's a cornerback on defense, and he's got some size and strength that helped him on that to break up that pass.
He does. He's fun to watch. He's one of their big guys on that defense and a big guy on the offense.
Drubay in motion to the left side. Look for a run here to Creed Leonard. Left, nope. Quick throw, slant, left side, and the receiver was looking for the run as well. He was heading downfield to block. Incomplete pass.
Have to imagine that was an out route written up there. Receiver looked like he was just ready to block instead.
Trace Higgins, the intended receiver, but like you said, I think he was just going out to block and thought it was going to be a run. So 4th and 5. Crimson Cliffs at the Canyon View 6-yard line. Boy, this could be a big moment for Canyon View if they can get a stop. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Crimson Cliffs going for it at the Canyon View 6. 4th and 5. 4:45 left first quarter. Hansen throws left side, caught, touchdown. It was caught right on the goal line by senior Packer Butler for his 2nd touchdown of the season.
There's quality play written up there. They saw a hole in the defense. They took advantage of it. Sometimes those easy slant routes are the best ones to score.
So a 6-yard touchdown pass is Chase Hansen's 4th of the season. The extra point is up, and it is good. Crimson Cliffs leads 14-0 here in this first quarter, brought to you by Ogden's Flooring and Design on Thunder 91.
Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event.
Just a 6-play drive to go 30 yards, and Crimson Cliffs has been able to take advantage of 2 drives starting in excellent field position.
You have to imagine coaches are expecting to make those drives count when they start from the 30 instead of the 25, the other 30 even. And Crimson Cliffs, their spirits have to be high now and ready to keep going.
A minute and 31 seconds off the clock on that 6-play, 30-yard drive. Chase Hansen finds Packer Butler for the score. And Crimson Cliffs looking to pick up its program's first ever playoff win. They're well on the way.
That'd be awesome for these seniors who started this school basically as they would have started as juniors.
Right.
You know, gotta be an awesome way to start a career with a school.
Guys like Creed Leonard, a senior this year. Parker Butler, who just caught that touchdown pass. Cody Callison fields at the 12, and boy, did the ball pop loose, or was that just...
That was just a big hit.
Wow, at the 25.
He cut back to the right, hoping to find a lane, and instead just met a big linebacker man ready to take a hit.
So Cody Callison returns it to the 25, about a 13-yard return. Falcons trail 14-0, 4:34 left, first quarter. Brought to you by Ogden's Flooring and Design. Now looking around the rest of the state real quick, and we'll give you some scores during halftime of this game, during our Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug halftime report, but only two other Region 9 teams in action. Hurricane at Logan. Hatch receives up the middle. The ball carrier, he goes about 3 yards. Desert Hills also in action. They were getting beat by Mountain Crest. Or no, they were beating Mountain Crest pretty handily earlier. Then you've got, of course, Cedar, Dixie, Snow Canyon, and Pineview all with byes tonight.
Those byes are going to serve them well going into playoffs where they've been playing now 10 games straight, and they need a little bit of a rest.
Hatch picked up 3 on first down and loses 1 on second down. Gave it to him left side and immediately brought down in the backfield to the 27.
That's a struggle with a good running back and an average offensive line. They get blown back a little bit. Running back has nowhere to go. Can't do anything with it.
3rd down and 8. 3:44 left in the first quarter. Again, Crimson Cliffs leads 14-0. We can't see them now because it's dark, but accurately named yes. Crimson Cliffs. A lot of red cliffs, red rock around this high school.
Across all of southern Utah, really.
Really.
It's beautiful.
2 receivers right, 2 wide left. Hatch on the right hip of Garrett in the shotgun. A slow lob of a snap. Garrett flushed out to his left side, creates some space, throws downfield. He's got Michael McAllister at the 35 to the 30. Breaks a tackle down the sideline, tiptoes out of bounds at about the 20. What a grab by Michael McAllister, and give credit to Jake Garrett for extending the play.
About to say, what a throw by Garrett. Almost took a sack there and made a big something out of nothing.
A 53-yard gain sets Canyon View up at the 20. 1st and 10. Give to Hatch. Looks left side, and boy, it looked like Le'Veon Bell there. Patient, finds the hole, waits for it, and then hits it for a gain of 4.
Yes, he did. He's a smart running back. And good running backs know to follow his blockers, and that's what he does. That's what he did right there.
Jake Garrett, 2 of 7 for 88 yards. A couple big completions and a few short incompletions, plus the interception. 14-0 Crimson Cliffs. Garrett back to throw. Screen takes forever to set up, and Garrett just has to throw it away. Garrett had a man right on him, or Hatch did, couldn't get away.
They both had man right on them. I think Garrett had 2 or 3 right there on him, and Hatch had to take one on himself. Neither of them could make the play work.
So the ball on the 17-yard line for a 3rd and 7. It's a long 6 coming up for Canyon View. Again, Crimson Cliffs leads 14-0. 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
It's a long 6, but when Garrett can throw 25-yard passes like it's nothing.
Has a lot of time, finds Tyler Main. The catch, the first down, a little bit more, shoved out at the 5.
Didn't need a 25-yard pass there, but he got the job done.
Let's see where they spot it. They do spot it right at the 5, so an 11-yard toss and can run. And Tyler Main, the main man for Jake Garrett. That's his 52nd reception of the season for 660-plus yards. Give to Gunnar Hatch, nothing doing. Brought down in the backfield.
Maine's got 8 touchdowns this season. Yeah, might be looking at him here now for his 9th.
A loss of 3 back to the 8-yard line, and it's been feast, not much, mostly famine for Gunnar Hatch. That's 7 carries for 13 yards, less than 2 yards per so far.
Less than 2 yards per, but at times he has broken out a 10, 11-yard gain. But those tackles for a loss just hurt them. Well,
right in the middle of the field. Canyon View knocking on the door at the Crimson Cliffs 8. Give to Hatch up the middle. Little more room this time, but not much. A gain of 1, maybe 2 to the 6.
Had a little bit of a hole there, but those linebackers were hiding out, ready to take him down.
That was Marley Salanoa Sagapolu again on the tackle. Give him a gain of 1 to the 7. It's 3rd and goal. Falcons.
That's the power of a big defensive tackle. He can make plays everywhere.
2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Ball right near the middle of the field in between the hash marks. A big 3rd down for Canyon View. Garrett calling out to his teammates. Still has time. And Canyon View just moved. Center, false start.
false start anywhere on the line, that hurts morale more than anything.
Now, one thing for Canyon View is if you back that up, now you've got 5 extra yards of space. Maybe it opens things up for the pass anyway.
Yeah, especially with Garrett, he can roll out. He has more room to work and can find a deeper pass to work.
You mentioned Tyler Main, 8 touchdowns this season. Let's watch for him. He's the slot back on the right side of the line of scrimmage. Garrett back to throw. Pressure comes, and Garrett is stuffed. Brought down at the 20. That was some extra pressure from the linebacker, and Garrett had no chance.
That's the presence of Marley Sakapolu right there. When he takes on 3-man himself, he frees up 2 backers to take an extra lane. And there, they had a couple extra lanes there to make it work. Big sack, nowhere to go.
A loss of 8 back to the 19. Canyon View comes out to kick the field goal. This would be a 37-yard attempt. The spotter, the holder, down at the 27-yard line. So a 37-yard field goal attempt, and whistles, flag. I think we may have a delay of game. That seems like a quick illegal substitution, Crimson Cliffs.
Must have been a mouth guard or something hanging out. Maybe a messed up helmet there, because the player coming off doesn't seem to have anything off, obviously.
So a 32-yard field goal attempt for Canyon View.
And time runs out.
Time runs out in the first quarter. 14-0. Crimson Cliffs leads after 1 on Thunder 91. This first quarter has been brought to you by Ogden's Flooring and Design.
Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event. Brad's Food Hut is happy to present this broadcast. Brad's is a traditional fixture in Cedar City and features the Bronco Burger, fish and chips, grilled cheese, and grilled turkey sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, shakes, and of course, soft drinks. Brad's is located on North Main Street in Cedar City.
We just got an update information about Crimson Cliffs. Their quarterback, Tyler Brown, through much of the season, was the starter. A sophomore decided to transfer this week to Pineview.
As a sophomore, they have to see something there. If he was a senior, I'd be hurt more than anything. Sophomore is a little more understandable. Sometimes more parents than him involved, but his teammates don't like it.
Right. Abandon a team like that,
especially going to play in the same region, a team they see multiple times a year.
And to Chase Hansen's credit, the junior has stepped in, done a nice job so far tonight. Canyon View, a field goal attempt. The kick is up. It was a good hold, and it is through. Canyon View is on the board, trailing 14-3.
Solid kick there. Not much more you can ask for from 37 yards, especially as a high school kicker. That's a lot of faith in the coach to go for it there.
So Canyon View gets on the board, trailing 14-3. That was a 10-play, 61-yard drive, and ate up 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Compare that or contrast that with Crimson Cliffs' 2 drives that have started the Canyon View 31 and the Canyon View 30, and they've eaten up a minute 44 and a minute 31 on those 2 drives.
Canyon View loves to see it, especially right now. First couple drives, they struggle getting anything going. They at least got down a couple big plays from Jake Garrett, and they got to carry that momentum. They start off the second quarter with a field goal, not much more momentum you can ask for.
So the Falcons on the board. Second quarter, 11:55 remaining. Again, winner of this one moves on and has to play Pineview next week at Pineview.
We'll have to see Tyler Brown again.
Yeah, that's right, for Crimson Cliffs.
We'll probably be seeing him in the stands. I can't imagine USHAA lets him play immediately.
No, I think it's there's a grace period. Short kickoff fielded at the 15. Up the right side and not much room to run. A short return for Trace Higgins.
Yeah, Wasn't much he could do there. High school rules, you can't hurdle, but right there it would have worked there.
Some Crimson Cliffs fans upset about some extra blocking continuing after the whistle. Mustangs will start 1st and 10 at their own 27. Again, their first 2 drives started at the Canyon View 31 and 30.
We're going to finally get to see how the offense actually works with a full field ahead of them.
Trips left, 1 receiver right. Crimson Cliffs attacking left to right from our view. That's north to south here at Crimson Cliffs High School. The snap and the give to Easton Drew Bay. Left side, big block, frees him up, breaks a tackle, has the first down, and a little bit more around the 38.
That was started from the right side of the field, ended up on the far left, almost to the sideline. That's a lot of running, and he made some yards out of it, though. He's got to be happy about that.
11 yards and a first down for Drew Bay. First and 10, trips right, ball on the left hash. Give again to Drew Bay, up the middle. This time he's wrapped up immediately, but keeps churning his feet and gains 4 or 5.
These Crimson Cliffs running back just keeps their motor going the entire time. Coaches love those kind of players. Those are players that they're going to be the players that always show up to every workout, every practice, every film session, and it shows. They're producing here.
Drew Bay, a junior, picks up 5. He was hit right at the line of scrimmage and pushed the pile for 5 yards. 2nd and 5, trips right. Drew Bay on the left hip of Hansen, man in motion, right to left. And the snap. Give to Drew Bay again. Finds some room. Sidesteps 1 to the 50, to the 40, and a foot race to the 30, 25. 2 defenders collapse in on him, sandwich him down at the 25-yard line, but a big gain for Drew Bay.
I saw right off the bat that was a power play to the right. They had two linemen on the left pulling to the right and had that big hole. Those are plays that happen when you block it correctly.
33 yards and a first down, Crimson Cliffs. You said we'd see how their offense operates with a full field in front of them.
Looks like they can.
It's all Easton Drew Bay so far. 3 plays, 3 runs to Drew Bay. He's on the left hip again. This time Hansen to throw. He's got a man wide open right side. Caught at the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown.
Packer
Butler with his 2nd receiving touchdown, and he was all alone.
He had all the room to work. Easy throw for Hansen. I was about to say, game plan alleviates the situation when you lose your starting quarterback as a transfer, and you have those running backs. But there, Chase Hansen shows what he can do. Especially only as a junior, they still have room to work and develop him next season.
Chase Hansen gave a quick motion, almost like it was going to be a quick out, and I think the cornerback bit on the out, trying to jump the route. That left Butler wide open. Extra point is good, and Crimson Cliffs pushes its lead out 21-3.
As good as a drive as you can ask for from Crimson Cliffs. Easton Dubray, easy work for him. He makes it look easy out there. They have a solid running back room there, and they're showing it.
The longest drive in yardage, the longest drive in time. 4 plays, 73 yards, 1:53 off the clock, and Chase Hansen to back Packer Butler. They've connected twice tonight for touchdowns.
That's that kind of connection when they got to be good friends, I imagine, especially when you mention with Chase Hansen giving that little hand motion.
Right.
You have to know exactly what that means. That's probably something they worked on just in throwing, not even in practice, just throwing together.
10:02 left in the second quarter. 21-3 Crimson Cliffs leads. This is the Township Pharmacy and Bullet Drug second quarter. Township Pharmacy located near the hospital and just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Curbside service available, or you can stop inside the pharmacy with both. Crimson Cliffs offense so far unstoppable.
Canyon doesn't seem to have an answer for them yet.
The run, the pass, it's all worked tonight for the Mustangs. Deep kick this time, and Cody Callison fields at the 2. Up the middle of the field, finds some room to the 25, 30, cuts back to the 40, a foot race to the 50, and they finally catch him at the 48 of Crimson Cliffs. Big return for Callison.
That's That's the kind of return you like to see, especially coming after their first score of the game. A big return. He got a lot of blockers there. Found room and then separated with that speed.
That was about a 51-yard return for Callison and sets Canyon View up in Crimson Cliffs territory. 1st and 10 at the 47 of the Mustangs. Ward and Hatch both in the backfield. Now Ward splits out to the left. He's the slot receiver. And this is Holden Miller, the quarterback, in there now for Canyon View. Quick out, right side, incomplete, in and out of the hands of his receiver. It looked like Tyler Main, the intended man.
That was a rush pass. I think he predetermined that throw right from the get-go.
Holden Miller this season, 20 of now 42. That's 48% completion, 191 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Came in late against Cedar and threw a pick 6 and then a pick almost 6 in that game. It makes me wonder if Jake Garrett got hit or what's going on. A flag flies in and a false start on Canyon View. That's their 3rd penalty, 3rd false start.
With Holden Miller on there, it could just be trying to get a change of pace at quarterback, hoping for something else.
Miller does have some quick feet, maybe a little better runner than is Jake Garrett. Miller averages almost 6 yards per carry. Again, that's in limited time as the backup quarterback. He got the start at Snow Canyon, did pretty well. Flag flies in as Miller hands off to Hatch. Some room to run inside the 45 to the 40, finally brought down there. But this may come back.
That flag was thrown at the line of scrimmage. I have to imagine that is something that's going to get pulled back and hurt Canyon View's morale.
That would be too bad if for Canyon View if it's against the Falcons, and it looks like it is as they start to back up and Miller throws his helmet back in frustration. A false start, illegal formation this time.
It's not the kind of start you want when you put a new quarterback in there.
Yeah, and especially given that running play, Gunnar Hatch had picked up about 13 yards. It would have been a 2nd and short, or a 3rd and short, excuse me.
Those are the kind of plays you want when you put in a new quarterback. Give it off to the running back and get some room. Fortunately, now they're 2nd and 20. They have a backup quarterback trying to work that.
All right in the middle of the field. Canyon View trails 21-3, 9:40 left, 2nd quarter. Trips left, 1 receiver right. Miller calls for it and receives the snap. Sets it up left side. McAllister with the catch to the 50 and sprints his way out of bounds to avoid a big hit. Right near the original line of scrimmage, it'll be 3rd and 8.
That's a good play call right there with that screenplay, hoping to make something out of nothing, and they made a good gain.
So they'll spot him out. Is there a flag down? There's
a flag about the 41.
And I'm afraid this may be a hold against Canyon View because they had 2 receivers out here on where that flag is, setting up the screen for McAllister to find some room to run.
They're talking about it might even be a backwards pass or a lateral pass that may be disputing.
Oh, no penalty. Okay.
That helps field position for them.
Right. The official indicated the ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage, so you can have blocking downfield while the ball is in the air, and that's what occurred there. If McAllister had been in front of the line of scrimmage, then we'd have had some illegal blocking or illegal screen.
That helps it now with 3rd and 8, more manageable to work with.
3rd down and 8. That was a pretty good gain on 2nd down. Miller back to throw. Deep over the middle, and what a leaping catch. Tyler Main with the 1st down and more. Out to the right side, trying to find space to the 30, sidesteps to the 25, and driven down out of bounds right there.
Found a lot of space to work with. Took that from the 1st down at the 38, and down all the way to about the 20.
That's a 20-yard gain and a 1st down. So Canyon View finding something, and what a nice throw by Miller, and then a great leaping catch by Tyler Main.
That's one of those catches you see more out of a linebacker with the interception. That was just a solid jump, solid catch, and turned into a solid gain.
But another flag down, personal foul, roughing the passer against Canyon. This is interesting. The body language from Canyon View, they on both of the last 2 penalties, they immediately just started walking back as if it was against them.
That's what happens when you're a team that keeps getting beaten up. I've been on those teams. You see a flag from anywhere, you assume it's against you.
Now, there was a second penalty against Canyon View that essentially negates that gain, and we're back to the 45-yard line for a 3rd down and 8.
They get to replay it. At least they don't lose the down. That helps them. But that was a solid game that had to help morale until everything got shut down just like that.
Mustangs coach Jaron Tate wants a timeout to gather his team. 21-3, 9:15 left second quarter. Crimson Cliffs leads here in the Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug second quarter on Thunder 91.
Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Brad's Food Hut is happy to present this broadcast. Brad's is a traditional fixture in Cedar City and features the Bronco Burger, fish and chips, grilled cheese, and grilled turkey sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, shakes, and of course, soft drinks. Brad's is located on North Main Street in Cedar City.
So Canyon View, a nice offensive play, a roughing the passer, but then they hurt themselves with a penalty of their own offsetting, and they move back to a 3rd and 8 from the Crimson Cliffs 45. Miller takes the snap, drops back to throw, deep over the middle. Ward in and out of his hands. It was a bit high, and he was hit just as the ball got there. Incomplete.
Saw there the backup quarterback his feet weren't exactly set. He was still on his back foot throwing, hoping for a good grab. Ward almost came up with it, but sadly just out of reach.
So Canyon View gets a first down at the Crimson Cliffs 47. They go backwards 10 yards in penalties, forwards 2 yards on a passing play, and then they're going to be forced to punt, facing a 4th and 8. So Holden Miller goes 1 for 2 on that possession officially with 12 yards. A whistle, and the snap came back.
Went anyways.
Canyon View takes a timeout. 21-3, Crimson Cliffs leads, 9:09 left, first half. This point in the game at Canyon View, that was back on the 11th of September. Crimson Cliffs led 19-0 at about 7.5 minutes left in the second quarter. They scored a second touchdown. Creed Leonard's second of that night. Again, he finished that night with 4 touchdowns and more than 150 rushing yards. This one playing out pretty similar. Canyon View's had more success offensively. They just haven't finished.
Yes, that eats at a team when you get all the way down. You have plays keep getting called back, keep not working out, just a split hair away from a big game. They're really just hairs away from being in this game.
Right, and sometimes those hairs are just those little penalties. We saw on that drive, they picked up 12 yards on the passing play, but it wasn't enough for a first down because they had 2 false starts.
Yeah.
So instead of a 1st and 10, it was 3rd and 8, now 4th and 8.
Offense coming back out on the field on 4th.
Canyon View going for it here near midfield, and Crimson Cliffs forced to take its 3rd and final timeout of the quarter, or of the half.
We still got 9 minutes left in this half.
Oh, no, they just said second. I miscounted that. I thought it was their 3rd.
I thought it was theirs, too.
This is the Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug second quarter. Crimson Cliffs up 21-3 on Thunder 91.
Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening. Drive-up and delivery is available, and they have plenty of specials to choose from. Wendy's of Cedar City and Hurricane.
View's offense out there for a 4th and 8 at the Crimson Cliffs 45-yard line. Miller in the shotgun, 2 receivers right, 2 left, and they pull out the bag of tricks. Coming around, Tyler Main heaving deep downfield. He's got Michael McAllister in and out of his hands at the 10. A hit came in and lots of extra contact after the play was well over. Incomplete.
Fell right through his arms. That's a mood killer. They were that close to being at the 10 now and in position to score on from fourth down. We've seen that play work with SUU before, most notably the Philly special in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
They were that close there, though. That just hurts.
Unfortunately, the timing just a little bit off. McAllister too far down the field, and Maine just couldn't heave it far enough to throw him open. 2 receivers right, 1 wide left. The snap and give to Easton Drew Bay. Left side, nowhere to go. Falcons all over it.
A lot of aggression out of that play from the D-line to be able to blow that play up and get him down for tackle for a loss.
Now, it looked like Jordan Ramirez, number 66, unless I saw the number incorrectly. Maybe Kobe Burrows in on the tackle. He's one of the leading tacklers for this Canyon View team. And a loss of 1 back to the 44.
You like to see your D-lineman getting a lot of tackles. That means you're getting penetration and blowing plays up.
Trips right. Drew Bay out into the flat. Hansen throws deep down the middle of the field. Packer Butler wide open at the 20, 10, 5. Packer Butler, 3 receptions, 3 touchdowns.
Doesn't get much easier than that. That was an easy throw. No one around. Packer Butler able to walk in to the end zone.
And I don't know what it is, but Butler, I'd be interested to see a replay because, again, the cornerback nowhere in sight.
No cornerback, no safety really near. That would be a blown coverage. Maybe he beat his man completely, dusted him, and just lost him completely. You have to imagine Kenju's going to have to find a solution for him now. Maybe put 2 men on him, extra safety over top.
Boy, and how about the night so far for Chase Hansen getting the nod after his teammate and quarterback Tyler Brown decided to transfer. Chase Hansen, 5 of 8 with 3 touchdowns, and Crimson Cliffs strikes quickly.
Chase Hansen has to feel good, probably more as a redemption for his team. Seeing his teammate leave during the playoffs, no one ever likes to see that. Has to hurt the team, but seeing Chase Hansen step up, that definitely helps.
Extra point, good. Crimson Cliff scores on 2 plays. 55 yards. That was a 56-yard touchdown pass and catch. That's the breakdown in coverage back there causing Canyon View some trouble.
Canyon View has big play potential on offense, but on defense they do give up a lot of big plays. Shoots themselves in the foot.
That's been shown consistently in Region 9. They've allowed 50 points per game. So Crimson Cliff set to kick off here in the second quarter, leading 28-3. Callison backs up and plants a foot in the end zone as he starts this return. They'll let him bring it out to the 18, maybe the 20-yard line, stopped there.
That return could have ended badly. He turned his body to try and catch that into the end zone. He touched that, and that drops. That's a free ball.
So Callison on the return, and Canyon View starts at its own 20. Falcons have gone 3 and out. Then they were driving through an interception. They drove down, kicked a field goal. Last possession, they had great field position, but turned it over on downs at the Crimson Cliffs 45. Smell those hamburgers grilling. I didn't get dinner tonight. This is making me miserable.
Yeah, Crimson Cliffs, as nice as it is out here, there's not much around either to just drive right to.
Trips out to the left. Crimson Cliff showing some pressure. Miller throws quickly just to get rid of it, and it hits the turf just incomplete. It looked like that defender got an early jump.
He had eyes on the quarterback the entire time. Easy to stop it when you're watching it, and that throws that quickly. First 5 yards as a defender, you don't always have to have eyes on your guy. You can watch the quarterback.
Second down and 10. That pass was almost intercepted. Is it Jake Garrett back out there? No, still Holden Miller. Back again to throw. Slant left side, picked off, and heading toward the end zone to the 10. He's brought down about the 8. And I believe that's Jalen Walker, number 3.
Almost another pick 6 for Holden Miller, giving up what a two-play drive turns over down to the 10 now. Hurts Canyon View. The defense gets back out on the field. They didn't do too much work last time, but Crimson Cliffs, they're loving it. They're right in front of the photographer now, posing like NFL defenders.
Second interception for this Crimson Cliffs defense. One off Jake Garrett, this last one off of Holden Miller. First and goal at the 10. Two receivers right. Quick throw out to the right side. Caught and down the sideline, diving just shy of the end zone at the 1.
Jackson Ritchie.
Thank you, Jackson Ritchie.
I was watching that play near the end zone with the receiver. I started to assume that was going to be the guy again with his 4th touchdown on 4 receptions. Packer Butler,
yeah. Ritchie with his first reception of the night. That's 121 passing yards on 6 of 9 completions for Chase Hansen. Down to the 1. And in motion is Easton Drew Bay. Hansen keeps it himself and dives toward the line, but the Falcons stuff him short of the end zone. No gain.
They had a defender back there immediately, just was able to just pull Hansen's legs back and drop him down.
Under 7 to play in the second quarter, 28-3 Crimson Cliffs leading. Again, these teams met September 11th at Canyon View, and at the half it was Crimson Cliffs on top 19-0. They went on to win 40-7. Hansen picked up about a half a yard. Brings up a 3rd and goal inside the Canyon View 1. Hansen favoring that left arm, looking almost like he was hurt a little bit, but maybe I misinterpreted his body language. Leonard on his right hip. Shotgun, snap. Hansen keeps it himself, and he's in this time, no question. Touchdown, Chase Hansen with the run.
Easy walkthrough right there. He sprinted full speed from 0. Good to see that Wildcat working right there. If he is favoring that arm and he gets just walking that easily, you don't have to worry about it.
So that drive, 3 plays to go the 10 yards. Crimson Cliffs has had field position at the Canyon View 31, 30, and now 10. They've scored on all 3 of those possessions. Extra point, the hold is good. Kick up and through the uprights. 35-0 Crimson, or 35-3 Crimson Cliffs leads in the Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug second quarter.
Easy drive for Crimson Cliffs there, especially from the 10. You hope it's easy, but they made it look like it wasn't even a drive. Just had a walk-in.
6:17 left in the second quarter. Again, 3 plays, 10 yards. I'm having a hard time keeping up on my stat sheet just with all this scoring. 35-3 Crimson Cliffs leads. That drive took just 1 minute and 33 seconds, if my math is correct. I'm not a math major, so you gotta cut me some slack there.
Neither am I. I'm a comm major. That's why I'm out here doing this. Now I have to take math in college at all.
It's beautiful,
I took it in
isn't
high
it?
school. I'm good.
That's one of the best things about being a comm major. 6:17 left, second quarter. In Utah, there's a 35-point mercy rule, so if Crimson Cliffs were to score again and Canyon View doesn't, we'd have a running clock the rest of the way. Cody Callison fields at the 3, upfield to the 25, cuts up to the middle and stuffed there. Big group, about 20 of the 22 guys on the field in that pile, and Callison out to the 25.
Not much room there. Got it to the 25 at least. And as a coach, you basically expect them to get it there. Otherwise, just let it go.
So from its own 25-yard line, Canyon View takes over 1st and 10, and I got to wonder if Jake Garrett is hurt. Holden Miller prone to throw interceptions, just threw his 7th of the season in just 44 pass attempts. That's an interception every 6 attempts, almost, and he's back out there.
You have to imagine they're just going to run it now and take it out of his hands.
2 receivers right, 2 left. Adrian Ward gets the handoff up the middle across the 25 and continues to churn out to the 27.
They can get plays like that. They don't have to put it in the hands of Holden Miller, where it risks throwing it and possibly another interception. Especially when you have Gunnar Hatch and Adrian Ward back there. It's easy to go.
It's a tough position to be in, though, if if the defense pretty soon, Crimson Cliffs is going to key in and just defend the run all night long.
You hope at that point when Crimson Cliffs figures it out, Jake Garrett's ready to go and could put him back out there.
2 receivers left, plus an H-back right behind the left tackle. 1 receiver wide right. The snap, Miller, quick throw, and he's got Jake Tom caught. First down a little more across the 35 to the 38, still driving out to the 39.
That was a good RPO play right there. Their head coach, Chris Sawyer, said they were going to have to work on that beginning this season, and that's what he likes to see. Good solid game of 11 right there. That works out for them.
Jake Tom has been a solid target this season. That's 20 catches for 267 yards, 3 touchdowns. They'll spot it right out at the 40 for a first down and 10. Miller takes the snap and gives to Ward around the left side. Cuts back across the middle, 50 to the 40 of Crimson Cliffs. Drugged down around the 30. Big gain for Ward.
My initial reaction right there, I had to look back to the backfield, make sure there was no yellow flags out there.
Yeah.
Cannon users had a lot of those today. Luckily, Adrian Ward carried that all the way. Solid power play from the offense to get them solid yards.
You see part of why he's so dangerous. 28 yards there. He was heading to the outside, planted a foot, and cut up the middle to where the hole was. Give again to Ward. This time up the middle, not much room, but he slips through a tackle or two inside the 30 for 3.
He showed his work as a speed back right before. Right there is a power back going right up the middle.
Ward 3 carries, 34 yards, including that 3 yards to the 29. He takes a breather, heads off to the sideline, and Gunnar Hatch back into the game. Hatch 8 carries for 15 yards in this one. 4 minutes left, first half. Crimson Cliffs on top, 35-3. Miller calls for the snap, gives to Hatch, and he is wrestled down immediately. Again, the blitz from the linebacker. Hatch had nowhere to go.
Nowhere. Loss of 3 is that right there? Maybe just 1. And
clear back to the 30 for a 5-yard loss.
Excuse me, yes. He had nowhere to go right there.
And I thought I heard Jackson Griffiths on the tackle, linebacker. Boy, he just hit the right hole and read the play well defensively. So a 3rd and a long 11. We'll call it 11. Canyon View at the Crimson Cliffs 33. Miller calls for the snap. Pressure coming up the middle. Hatch picks it up and the throw to Tyler Main. Breaks a tackle, but not much more to the 28. Falcons will be short of the first down.
They hit a longer field goal earlier, so they have room if they need to right there. If they need to go for the field goal. But it looks like offense staying out in the field. They're looking in for the play call.
Yeah, at this point down 35-3 with time running out in the second half, or in the second quarter. You've got to take some risks here to try and get back in. I think going for it, here's the right call. 4th and 6 at the Crimson Cliffs 28. 2 receivers on the right side, 1 left. And again, pressure coming up the middle. Miller flushed out to his right, throws back over the middle looking for Maine, and he was hit as the ball got there. In and out of his hands on a high throw, incomplete. A late flag flies in that may help Canyon View. It may be after the play, and Crimson Cliffs could still have possession.
It's like the offense walked back out.
Maine went up to make that catch, and it almost looked to me like the defense came in early at his feet. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Crimson Cliffs after the play was dead. So it's still first down Crimson Cliffs, but they go half the distance to the goal back to their own 14.
It has to feel good as a Falcon to get a penalty in your favor, especially after this entire season. A lot of them have been at their cost.
Hansen in the shotgun, takes the snap, looking to his right, throws deep over the middle, and he has a man wide open. It falls incomplete.
And that throw was just a little bit to the left, that out of reach. Couldn't do much with it. But if he had put that perfectly, that would have been another touchdown, long touchdown.
And the free safety bit on going on defending Packer Butler on the sideline. That left Drew Bay wide open in the middle of the field.
They got to defend Butler when is it 2 or 3 receptions for 2 or 3 touchdowns?
3. Whistles and timeout Crimson Cliffs with 2:20 left to play in the first half. We'll take a quick timeout as well. This is the Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug second quarter. 35-3, Crimson Cliffs leads over Canyon View on Thunder 91.
Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Hermes Drive-In is happy to sponsor youth activities in our area. They are located just north of the City Park on Main Street. Hermes features burgers, shakes, fries, and soft drinks, and a variety of other items, including scones. Hermes Drive-In, 294 North Main Street, Cedar City.
$35-3 Crimson Cliffs with the lead. They have had 6 possessions. They've scored 6 times. Is that right? 5 possessions. They've scored 5 times. Again, the math thing is a challenge. 35 points, 7 points each. That's 5 touchdowns.
That is, and those have been 5 pretty easy touchdowns from them. 3 of them starting within the 30.
Yeah, that's a good point. They have not. None of their possessions have gone more than 2 minutes, and they've had short fields for the most part. Hansen deep over the middle. He's got Packer Butler again and just overthrows him at the 50. Incomplete.
I think Hansen's trying to put this game out of reach quickly. He last 2 plays looking deep, way deep, hoping for a long touchdown. Would be a 86-yard touchdown. I can do that math.
There you go. At the 14-yard line, Crimson Cliffs facing a 3rd and 10. 2:13 left in this first half. And Butler needs a breather. He heads to the sideline after sprinting down the field for the incompletion. Hansen brings a man in motion. Got Creed Leonard on his right hip. Back again to throw. Out in the flat. Finds his man at the 15. Up to the 20. And 2 Falcons sandwich him there at the 22-yard line. Short of the first down.
Those swing routes right there, they're hoping to find extra yards after the catch. They got some there, but not enough as it brings up 4th down.
Gunner Orr, the receiver.
Haven't heard that name today, but a lot today. But last time against Canyon View, he had three receptions for 2 touchdowns, almost like Packer Butler does today.
Yeah, he was big. A 63-yard touchdown catch and then another short one for 5 yards in that game. Crimson Cliffs in a punting situation after that 8-yard gain. They take their time. Good snap. And the punt is away. Not a great punt. A high and not very deep. But takes a Mustang bounce and then out to the sideline. Rolls to the 41 of Canyon View.
Gotta feel weird for Crimson Cliffs punting after all the momentum they've had today.
Right.
But when they start from the 10, not a lot of room you can work with back there. They got a solid punt, though, now. Canyon View hoping to capitalize on that.
Well, and one factor in that is those first 2 plays of that drive, they went deep, incomplete. So it brings up a 3rd and long. They get 8 of it, but not quite enough. Plus, up 35-3.
Still have Holden Miller out there for the Falcons.
Miller with 2 receivers right. And 1 on the left side. He's 3 of 7 for 30 yards with an interception. Takes the snap and backs up to throw. Deep over the middle for Michael McAllister, and the defender steps in front, in and out of his hands, incomplete, almost picked off.
They sent the running back Ward out there on a route, but they had that extra tight end back there as a pass blocker instead. They were going to try and slow down the pass rush now, hoping to give Miller more time, hoping to give the running backs more room to work with as well.
And come to think of that, and as you mentioned, the extra pass protection, the last time we saw Garrett out there, he was sacked hard with some extra pressure right before that field goal, right?
Extra blockers out on the right side with Sagapolu as well.
1:10 left in the second quarter. Give up the middle. Adrian Ward some room across the 50 and has first down yardage.
That's exactly what you want from Canyon View, that extra blocker man-on-man with Sagapolu, and just cleared up the room for everyone else.
Spot him at the 48-yard line. That's 11 yards for Adrian Ward. Puts him at 45 yards in the game. And a first down with under a minute to play in the half. Miller calls for the snap, looks out to his right, rolls to his right, has Ward, the throw, tipped, and falls just short and incomplete.
Would have been another first down if it wasn't for that defender right in the middle, able to get his just a fingertip on it to deflect it.
Ward was open there. They had some space, but the good defensive play to knock it down to the ground. Stops the clock at 43 seconds left. Second quarter, 35-3. Crimson Cliffs on top. They've had 6 possessions. They scored on their first 5 touchdowns to lead 35-3. Miller rolls to his right on a bootleg, looking for the same play, but it's not open this time, and he runs out. Nope, threw it away just before he ran out. He did have a receiver right there, so incomplete.
I saw on that last play, that risk of running out right, that's where Sagapolu is. He can just cut his man and chase after him. That's what he did right there. Force him to throw it out of bounds.
So a third down and 10. That's 3 straight incompletions for Holden Miller. The right side is that wide side of the field with the ball on the left hash. 35 seconds left to play in the half. Miller calls for it. Canyon View doesn't snap it. They'll look to the sideline for a change of play. The team all check their wristband. And then Miller calls for the snap again. Throws to his right, looking for Tyler Main. The throw too high. Main got a fingertip on it, and then it fell incomplete.
In that sense, you're almost glad Main only got a fingertip on it instead of both his hands, because right behind him, defender would have knocked him out, and if he didn't get a fingertip on it, could another defender back there to possibly pick it.
You can understand Miller having some nerves coming into a playoff game like this as a junior, as the backup quarterback. Most of his throws have been high. That stops the clock at 31 seconds left first half. Canyon View in a punting formation in Crimson Cliffs territory at the 48. I don't expect it, but wouldn't be surprised to see a fake punt here. Snap is on target, and the kick high and short. And that took a bounce. Lucky for Crimson Cliffs, it didn't hit any Mustangs. Falcons pick it up and end its progression about the 26.
Lucky for Crimson Cliffs, it bounced into a Falcon to spot the ball right there. Would have bounced back an extra 10 yards if not for that.
So with 21 seconds left in this second quarter, Crimson Cliffs leads 35-3, and they take over 1st and 10 from their own 27. It's been all Mustangs in this first half. The home team, the higher seed, is a 15 versus 18, so not a big difference in the seed, but certainly a difference in execution.
Yes, it's weird to think these teams are only 3 teams apart from each other.
Right.
Crimson Cliffs is playing really well. Canyon View, sadly, is not.
2 receivers left, 2 to the right side, ball in the right hash. Hansen back to throw, flushed out to his left, heaves deep down the middle of the field, and incomplete. Good defense knocking it down. Jackson Ritchie wanted a flag, but no flag flies.
Good job by Hansen there to evade the sack, step up in the pocket, and heave a pass downfield. Sada couldn't capitalize on that. That would have iced the cake going into halftime.
And interesting, we've seen both teams, their backup quarterbacks have thrown more than their starting quarterbacks did, or at least Tyler Brown, usually the starter for Crimson Cliffs. We learned earlier tonight he transferred to Pineview. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Quick throw over the middle, caught and immediately hit. Jackson Ritchie picks up the first down at the 42-yard line. 6 seconds left in the half. And Crimson Cliffs rushing to the line of scrimmage, trying to keep this drive going. They spot it at the 44. Hansen spikes it, and some defenders come in and hit him as he throws it down. Late flags fly in as Crimson Cliffs teammates come in to defend their quarterback, but that was a perfectly legal play by the defense, wasn't it, Thomas?
It looked like it to me. Defenders were just right there trying and stop him before he spiked it. But tensions are high in this playoff game. I'm surprised to see Crimson Cliffs being so tense about it. Canyon, I can understand being down 35-3.
Right.
But Crimson Cliffs, when you're up 35-3 and you get angry like that, never works out in your favor.
It's kind of one of those unwritten rules. If you know the team's going to spike it or take a knee, you don't rush in. But Canyon View playing hard and maybe trying to make something happen.
It's a playoff game. You got to make something happen. Can't blame them there. Referee's still talking about it, trying to see exactly what happened.
The discussion has to be now Chase Hansen, as the quarterback, spikes the ball. He has to be treated as a quarterback. So was the hit late? If that's the case, it would be a roughing the passer. Then late flags flew in, as I imagine we'll have an unsportsmanlike conduct on one or both of these teams. 35-3 here at the half. We've got the Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug halftime report coming up in a moment. Time down to zeros on the clock. But I think Hansen got that ball spiked before we hit zeros.
I have to imagine, if I had to guess, that's a roughing the passer on Canyon View, but offsetting unsportsmanlike on Crimson Cliffs.
Well, the officials continue to discuss here in this Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug second quarter. And we'll just kind of keep an eye on what they decide. So a personal foul against the defense, personal foul against Crimson Cliffs, and an unsportsmanlike against Crimson Cliffs. Also an unsportsmanlike against Canyon View. All those offset, so two unsportsmanlike and a personal foul against each team, and they send us to halftime. So
a lot of waiting around just to say, okay, we're done.
Yeah. Let's head to the locker room, boys, and cool off a little bit. 35-3. Crimson Cliffs scored on all of its first 5 possessions.
It's their first drive that they didn't. That's only because the quarter ended.
That's right. That takes us to the Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug halftime report. We'll be back with that, some statistics, and take a look at maybe some adjustments that need to happen in the second half here on Thunder 91.
Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening. Drive-up and delivery is available, and they have plenty of specials to choose from. Wendy's of Cedar City and Hurricane. Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event. $5 Pizza now has 2 locations in Cedar City. $5 offers pizza in 8-inch to 16-inch sizes. And in addition to the 30-inch Beast, they also have cinnamon bread, cheese bread, and chicken wings. $5 Pizza for carry-out and delivery too. $5 Pizza located at 1390 South Providence Center and now on North Main Street as well. $5 Pizza, happy to support athletics and other activities of local high schools. Brad's Food Hut is happy to present this broadcast. Brad's is a traditional fixture in Cedar City and features the Bronco Burger, fish and chips, grilled cheese, and grilled turkey sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, shakes, and of course, soft drinks. Brad's is located on North Main Street in Cedar City. Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Hermes Drive-In is happy to sponsor youth activities in our area. They are located just north of the City Park on Main Street. Hermes features burgers, shakes, fries, and soft drinks, and a variety of other items, including scones. Hermes Drive-In, 294 North Main Street, Cedar City.
Welcome to the Halftime Report, brought to you by Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug. Township Pharmacy near the hospital, just off Main Street, and Bullock Drug downtown. They can each fill your pharmacy or fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Falcons of Canyon View got the ball to start. They went 3 and out. The punt was blocked, and Crimson Cliffs took over at the Canyon View 31. 5 plays later, they scored, made it 7-0. That first back and forth, those first 2 possessions, pretty indicative of what we had in the first half. Canyon View started to drive through an interception. Crimson Cliffs answered with a long interception return and then a short drive and another touchdown. Canyon View did get on the board with a field goal. They trailed 14-3 after putting together a nice 10-play, 61-yard drive and a 32-yard field goal. But then Crimson Cliffs scored 3 more touchdowns in that second quarter, and the Mustangs lead 35-3 here at the half.
I have to imagine that locker room for the Falcons right now. It's not a happy scene. I have to imagine some coaches are trying to get energies up however they can. Probably some of those seniors in there hoping to pull everyone in and get something started in the second half.
Packer Butler has 3 receptions, all 3 touchdowns, and 87 yards receiving. And Chase Hansen, who got the nod tonight as the starting quarterback, he'd been back up all year long, but started tonight, and his first half, pretty good. 8 of 13, 146 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, plus a rushing touchdown. He's come in and done a nice job for this Crimson Cliffs team.
Yeah, you can't ask for much more when your starting quarterback transfers to a rival team the week of a playoff game. Backup steps up phenomenally to lead this team to a 35-3 lead at halftime.
And he's been smart. I mentioned the 3 touchdowns. He's not thrown an interception. He's been smart about where the throws go, and if he doesn't have something open, he just throws incomplete where the defense can't get to it either. And 8 of 13 for 146 yards. He's a junior. He's got some good things looking forward to next year in his senior year. And, boy, he's got to be happy with where Crimson Cliffs is at with an opportunity to win its first ever playoff game.
Yeah, I'd imagine Chase Hansen's hoping to almost write that storybook story, a novel story, to step in as a backup, win the first playoff game, and lead them into something phenomenal next season.
I've got Crimson Cliffs with 146 passing yards, 79 rushing yards, 225 total. As for Canyon View, Jake Garrett came out and a rough start. He missed on his first 3 attempts, was picked off, and was at one point 1 of 6 for 35 yards with an interception, and then came back and did some good things, but drove the team down, got hit hard, and I don't think we've seen him in the game since then. So 3 of 8, 99 yards. Holden Miller came in and completed a couple of his first few attempts, but just 3 of 10, 30 yards and an interception.
That won't do when you're asking for a backup to step up for a quarterback, whether he's injured or if that's just a performance pull. That hurts the team overall. In a spot like this, you hope for something more.
Add to that Gunnar Hatch, who's been just a solid, consistent back for this Canyon View team tonight, has been unable to get going. 9 carries, 10 yards. Adrian Ward, a bright spot in the rushing game, 4 carries for 45 yards, but he's got to get more touches if Canyon View hopes to. I mean, at this point, trailing 35-3, what are you even hoping for in the second half, Thomas?
At this point, I think they're hoping to see what they can build on next season, what they need to work on. They might get the seniors back out there for one final drive. It hurts as a senior to go down like this, so I've been on that end. My senior year, my team went 0-10, and I know that hurts.
Man, that here you went to high school here in St. George?
I played high school football at Cottonwood in Salt Lake.
Cottonwood, okay.
Played my freshman year here at Pineview.
Okay.
Pineview is a phenomenal school.
Yeah.
Moved to Cottonwood where we were in a rebuilding stage. They're finally getting out of it, luckily. I'd love to see it for them. I hope to see it. Can you turn it around soon just like that?
I mentioned Crimson Cliffs with unofficially 225 yards of offense. I've got Canyon View with 176, so not far behind on yardage, but the differences come in 1, sustained drives for Crimson Cliffs where they finished. Number 2, Crimson Cliffs has had fantastic field position.
They have. They haven't needed to drive that far when they start 2 or 3 of their 5 drives. 3 of their 6 drives within the 30.
Right.
You don't need, you only get 30 yards out of it, but you get 7 points each time.
To your point right there, the details, they started their first drive at the Canyon View 31, then the Canyon View 30, their own 27, their own 45, which is still right at midfield, still good field position, and then the Canyon View 10. So they've had excellent field position tonight, and they've taken advantage of it, the Mustangs. 35-3 here at the half. This is the Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug halftime report. Make sure to stay tuned. We'll have in the second half, the $5 Pizza third quarter. We'll have the Brad's Food Hut post-game wrap-up, including the Bullock Drug and Township Pharmacy player of the game. If you had to give like midterm grades right now, Thomas, and think about player of the game, who are you looking at?
I'm looking at Chase Hansen right now, what he's done for this team, not only in this performance, but also stepping up with their starting quarterback leaving Tyler Brown and stepping up. This is as good a stage as you can ask for have a backup quarterback step up like this in the first round of the playoffs. You hope he can carry on to next week if they win, play Pineview and play Tyler Brown's new team. Hoping they can at least perform and show something.
That could be an interesting matchup for these Crimson Cliffs guys to look across the field and see who was their starting quarterback for most of this season on the other sideline.
I can't imagine that going over well for anyone. Tensions, you've already seen tensions high for them today. I have to imagine that's carrying over next week.
You're tuned in to the Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug halftime report. We've got some scores from other games around 4A playoffs when we return on Thunder 91. Here at the half, it's Crimson Cliffs 35, Canyon View 3.
Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. $5 Pizza now has 2 locations in Cedar City. $5 offers pizza in 8-inch to 16-inch sizes. And in addition to the 30-inch Beast, they also have cinnamon bread, cheese bread, and chicken wings. $5 Pizza for carry-out and delivery too. $5 Pizza located at 1390 South Providence Center and now on North Main Street as well. $5 Pizza, happy to support athletics and other activities of local high schools. Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening. Drive-up and delivery is available, and they have plenty of specials to choose from. Wendy's of Cedar City and Hurricane. Hermes Drive-In is happy to sponsor youth activities in our area. They are located just north of the City Park on Main Street. Hermes features burgers, shakes, fries, and soft drinks, and a variety of other items, including scones. Hermes Drive-In, 294 North Main Street, Cedar City. Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event. Brad's Food Hut is happy to present this broadcast. Brad's is a traditional fixture in Cedar City and features the Bronco Burger, fish and chips, grilled cheese, and grilled turkey sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, shakes, and of course, soft drinks. Brad's is located on North Main Street in Cedar City.
35-3 at the half. This is round 1 of the 4A football UHSAA State Championship tournament. And some teams, of course, the way they set up the bracket, they go through the season, you use the RPI system and seed all these teams 1 through, how many teams are there? 22, I think. And then, so there's, 22 teams. And the top 8 or 9, it's 9 actually, isn't it? Because, Dixie's number 9, they got a bye. The top 9 teams get a bye. The rest of the teams, then they set up, playing at the higher seed at home, the lower seed away. So that's why we have tonight Canyon View at Crimson Cliffs. That's at 18 at 15. Now, other games we should mention: Snow Canyon, Pineview, Desert Hills in action. Snow Canyon, Pineview, Cedar, and Dixie all had byes tonight. Cedar and Dixie will meet next week at Cedar. Pineview will host the winner of this game. Snow Canyon will get, looks like, Logan. Give us some scores from around the rest of 4A tonight, Thomas.
Desert Hills took down number 17 Mountain Crest. They move on to play Skyview, the number one in that bracket. Or number one in the bracket, excuse me. Cedar Valley takes down Tooele 28-21. They're moving on to face Ridgeline. Ogden and Ben Lomond, they're still in action. Ogden leading 28-17. Winner of that goes on to face Park City. Logan and Hurricane. Logan, number 14, took down Hurricane Tigers, Region 9. Logan will move on to face another Region 9, Snow Canyon, number 3, next week. Other than that, right now we're waiting to see who plays Pineview. Winner of the Pineview this game will take on Bear River or Green Canyon, winner of that.
This is interesting, at least to me. We've seen just how good, or we think we see just how good, like Pineview and Snow Canyon and Cedar and Dixie are, and Canyon View's gotten a good taste of just how good this Region 9 is. And then you think about, okay, so how good are Region 9 teams against other regions? And one way to look at that is, of course, in the RPI, Region 9 has 4 teams in the top 9. So of the top 9 teams, almost half of those are Region 9 squads. You look at Pineview at 2, Snow Canyon at 3, and then Cedar and Dixie at 8 and 9, respectively. And then, the 16, 17, that's supposed to be those two teams real close,
yep.
Right? One team
that score's
just
not working out real close.
I know, one team just better than the other in the RPI, but Desert Hills, the Region 9 team, 44-14 over Mountain Crest. That may be an indication of just, or at least a little bit of a measuring stick, just how solid Region 9 is.
Yes, these Region 9 teams, they're very well coached. I play with Pineview. I worked with Raymond Hosner for quite a while. He's in his 20th year of coaching at Pineview now. That shows just how good he is. I think he just won a Coach of the Year recently as well. Snow Canyon, Desert Hills, they're all phenomenally coached teams. Dixie, I was a Pineview, so I have to hate Dixie.
You have to, right?
But they are a solid team no matter what.
Certainly. Canyon View finding themselves against a more solid team than the last time these teams met. They played September 11th, and if we look back at that game, Crimson Cliffs led 19-0 at the half. Tonight, it's been all Mustangs. 35-3 at the half. Mustangs lead on the Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug halftime report. We'll take one more quick timeout and be back with $5 Pizza third quarter action on Thunder 91.
Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening. Drive-up and delivery is available, and they have plenty of specials to choose from. Wendy's of Cedar City and Hurricane. $5 Pizza now has 2 locations in Cedar City. $5 offers pizza in 8-inch to 16-inch sizes. And in addition to the 30-inch Beast, they also have cinnamon bread, cheese bread, and chicken wings. $5 Pizza for carry-out and delivery too. $5 Pizza located at 1390 South Providence Center and now on North Main Street as well. $5 Pizza, happy to support athletics and other activities of local high schools. Hermes Drive-In is happy to sponsor youth activities in our area. They are located just north of the City Park on Main Street. Hermes features burgers, shakes, fries, and soft drinks, and a variety of other items, including scones. Hermes Drive-In, 294 North Main Street, Cedar City. Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event. Brad's Food Hut is happy to present this broadcast. Brad's is a traditional fixture in Cedar City and features the Bronco Burger, fish and chips, grilled cheese, and grilled turkey sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, shakes, and of course, soft drinks. Brad's is located on North Main Street in Cedar City.
Crimson Cliffs 35, Canyon View 3 at the half. The Falcons last year lost in the first round of the playoffs. Crimson Cliffs did as well. Of course, the Mustangs of Crimson Cliffs just in their second year of existence, right? The brand new high school here in St. George, and they're off to a very good first half and a promising first half as they try to win their first playoff game.
It'd take a miracle from Canyon View to upset Crimson Cliffs and not get their first playoff win.
Yeah, and you know, one side of it is that they're down by 32 points, essentially 5 touchdowns. The other part of it is that Crimson Cliffs defense has been solid. Canyon View's Jake Garrett appears to be injured. We haven't seen him in the game since about early in the second quarter. And so backup quarterback, and then when you've been dominated that way, it's tough to make big enough adjustments to come back.
There's so many adjustments they do have to make in order to climb back into this game. Got to start small and get some yards going, stop some drives on Crimson Cliffs, but they haven't let their foot off the pedal.
This has been the Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drugs halftime report. And we move on to the $5 pizza third quarter. Canyon View tries an onside kick, and Crimson Cliffs ready for it, field it at the 40-yard line, and once again they'll get great field position.
First drive of the game for them, they start at the 30, now at the 40 for the second half. Canyon View is just giving them a lot of opportunities.
Tip of the cap there to Dade McDonald, who the junior wide receiver who was on the kick return team, fielded that onside kick attempt and did the smart thing, just grabbed it, went down to the ground and protected the football. Chase Hansen, handoff. Easton Drew Bay, right side, breaks a tackle, room to run, 30 to the 25, stood up there and finally drug out of bounds about the 24.
They had a couple guys right there on them having to drive him out. Drew Bay just wouldn't go down.
This goes back to an observation you saw, that these Crimson Cliffs running backs, just a ceaseless, like a motor that just keeps running.
And that's exactly what you need in any game. That's how you build a successful football team. You got to keep energies high, keep motors running.
1st and 10, Crimson Cliffs. Their offense has really not struggled at all tonight. Quick swing out to the left side. Trace Higgins with the catch, and he gets inside the 20 before being brought down to the 17.
That looked like Cade Short. Cade Short on the tackle right there, the junior, grabbing him by his legs to pull him down. And sometimes all you got. You just got to grab where you can.
7 yards, and that's Trace Higgins' first catch of the night. For Chase Hansen, 153 yards on 9 of 14 passing, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Ball to the left hash for 2nd and 3. Hansen takes the snap, gives to Drew Bay up the middle, and this time not much room. He'll keep churning those feet down to the 16, a gain of 1.
Just stood up there, nowhere to go. That was just a collapsed pocket that he was already in.
Coach Jaron Tate must be seeing something tonight from Easton Drew Bay. Creed Leonard has been the leading ball carrier for this Crimson Cliffs team, but Drew Bay getting more of the carries tonight.
At this point, though, when it's 35-3, he could just be running his second back to rest him up.
That could be. Give Leonard the rest. Drew Bay in motion from the backfield out to the right side. Hansen looks to him, then throws short over the middle, and it's open down to the 6-yard line. Canyon View gets the tackle there.
Just a hole, found the hole in the coverage right there. Defenders just out of reach to tackle him immediately to allow him to get the catch.
And that was Jackson Ritchie on the catch. Down to the 6, a 10-yard gain.
First and goal for the Mustangs from the 7-yard line.
1st and goal, Crimson Cliffs knocking on the door again with a 35-3 lead early in the third quarter. 2 receivers right, and flags whistle this one dead. The give was to Easton Drew Bay, but they stop him short.
Stop short, but the whistles were already going, so you have to imagine that Drew Bay just, okay, we're going to chill now.
Yeah. A false start. That's just the 3rd penalty of the night against Crimson Cliffs. course, that not counting the offsetting penalties that I didn't write down.
I've had a couple offsetting penalties, I believe, today.
So that'll push them back to the 12, or just outside the 11.
Still gives them a lot of room to work now because their runners can run or Hansen can pass easily from that distance.
It is first and goal from that 7 or 11-yard line. Snap and a give to Drew Bay around the right side. He gets the corner, flag flies as he crosses the goal line. Touchdown, but we may have a block in the back or a hold out on that right edge.
Hansen's just standing exactly where he gave the handoff. I think he's waiting to see if the penalty's against them.
It is a hold penalty against Crimson Cliffs.
53, Easton Thurman, the sophomore. Young offensive lineman. That's always where those false starts come from.
So that'll push them clear back to the 22-yard line. The hold took place right at the line of scrimmage. 35-3, Crimson Cliffs on top and knocking on the door, but they've taken a couple steps back down the porch. First and goal at the 22. 2 receivers left, 2 on the right side. Right is the right side is the short side of the field, ball on the right hash. Hansen back to throw over the middle left side, just incomplete, almost picked off.
Mason Berg right there almost had that. He dove for, hoping to get his hands on it, just out of the reach, nowhere to go.
Hansen had completed 5 consecutive passes before that incompletion. Second and goal at the Canyon View 22. Mustangs lead 35-3 with 9:03 left in the third quarter. 2 receivers, twins wide out to the left. 2 receivers on the right side. Ball on the right hash. Hansen back to throw. Sets up the screen and tosses to Drew Bay. Breaks 1 tackle, can't break another, but he's inside the 22, about the 16.
Number 6'7", Peyton Parker of the Falcons was almost there to pull him down. Shut down that screen, but just out of the reach.
So a decent gain of 6. Drew Bay's second reception. And that brings up a third down and goal at the 12. The 11. Oh, no, I'm sorry, the 16. I'm 5 yards off. My apologies. 2 receivers right, 1 wide to the left. Canyon View early jump, and that'll give Crimson Cliffs 5 free yards on the encroachment, I believe. Indeed.
Canyon View always struggles with those encroachments and false starts. Shoots himself in the foot once again.
So see, it was a little foreshadowing. Now they are at the 11. I was right on target, just 1 play ahead. 11-yard line for a third and goal. Mustangs leading 35-3. A touchdown here would give us a running clock the rest of the way. That's the kind of dominant night it's been for Crimson Cliffs.
I've liked what they've done in this half already, keeping the ball inbound to keep that clock going.
Trips right, Hansen in the shotgun. 1 receiver left. Back to throw. Fade right corner of the end zone. Has a man there, and at the last second, Canyon View's defender comes in and swats it away. Incomplete.
That 50-50 ball had potential from both sides. Defender right there swatted away, gets a hand up. Almost looked like a volleyball swat right there.
And a late flag flies in after the play, well after the play. That was it looked like a fade route, but the timing was way off. Hansen on a fade, as you know, Thomas, the quarterback has to do a quick 3-step drop and just toss it out there.
Just get it out there, yes.
Wow. Unsportsmanlike conduct against a Canyon View Falcon not only gives Crimson Cliffs a first down, it also is a second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Canyon View's. Is that Cody Callison?
I believe it is.
It could be Braden Floyd. It's either a 5 or a 6 on that jersey. That ejects him from the game. It also gives Crimson Cliffs a new chance on the unsportsmanlike conduct.
He's walking off head down. You have to feel bad. These guys are still just high schoolers. It hurts.
So Crimson Cliffs in to attempt the field goal. Looks like it'll be about a 23-yard attempt, 24-yarder. The kick is up and easily good. Straight through the uprights, and Crimson Cliffs extends its lead 38-3. here in the third quarter, 8:12 left.
I liked on that PAT, Kenview didn't give up. They didn't just let them kick it. Number 21, Thomas English, looked like he was in the backfield, forcing his way in to try and block it.
So 8 plays, 34 yards on that drive, and by far the longest drive of the night time-wise for Crimson Cliffs. With 8:12 left in this third quarter, that was a 3-minute, 48-second drive.
Not only is that the longest drive of the game, that also gets the running clock going now.
Right.
Or shortens the game, really, for the Mustangs.
So Canyon View trails 38-3. Mustangs have had 8 possessions. They've scored now on 6 of those. One, they just ran out of time at the half, and then they punted once.
That's as efficient as you can get for an offense.
Man.
Coaches have to be loving it right now.
Got to be happy with the way their offense is playing, and then their defense has essentially, other than just the one field goal, they have shut Canyon View down.
Mm-hmm. Canyon View has had big plays moving down the field, but they haven't capitalized on that.
True.
That's killed them.
Yeah, the little stuff isn't working at all. They've gotten in scoring position on big plays. It's just a couple big plays that have helped them. Adrian Ward, Cody Callison back to return this kickoff. And Callison comes up, fields it at the 9. Up across the 20, runs to his left, 25, still on his feet to the 30 and drugged down at about the 31.
Solid return, almost got tripped up at the 25. Lunge for those last extra 5 yards to give them solid field position.
So that kind of answers the question. It must have been Braden Floyd who received that second unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yes.
And was ejected from the game. So Canyon View from its own 32, trailing 38-3, 7:38 left to play in the third quarter. Miller calls for the snap, fakes the handoff, and throws for Tyler Main. Main man has it at the 44 to the 45, and he's brought down.
22 Corbin Clough was right there, just a few yards short of Main, waiting for him to come down with that catch and knock him out.
13 yards and a first down. Tyler Main's third catch of the night for 30 yards. Out to the 45-yard line. Trips, nope, 2 receivers right. And this time the give up to Gunnar Hatch, the RPO, and Miller chose to throw it last time. He chooses to give it this time, and Hatch picks up 5.
That's the beauty of the RPO. You have the option there, and when you have a solid running back with Hatch, you can hand it off most times and hope to find something.
5 yards and a first down. Hatch with 10 carries, 15 yards in the game, and of those 10 carries, 4 are for negative yardage. That's the job that Crimson Cliffs has done defensively tonight.
They've been doing a good job of penetrating the offensive line to stop blowing up the play completely.
2 receivers right, same play. Hatch the handoff, bounces out left side, and wrestled down about the 48 of Crimson Cliffs, a gain of 2.
Short little bounce outside. Sometimes doesn't have much going for him. Offensive line normally has something going up the middle with a hole. Lyman always loved to tease running backs. You missed the hole, but there he didn't have much there.
So a 3rd and short, 3 yards to go at the Crimson Cliffs 48. Falcons trail 38-3 with about half of this third quarter left to play. Give to Hatch again right side, and he is whipped around and down at the 47, a gain of 1.
Jordan Phillips of the Mustangs was blowing up a bit on the quarterback, Holden Miller. Fortunately, no ball there to tackle for.
Hatch goes off, shaking his helmet like something got funny in his ear. Almost looked like he had some water in his ear. He kind of making that type of movement. 4th and 2, Canyon View trails here in the $5 Pizza third quarter. And the Falcons going for it in Crimson Cliffs territory at the 47.
Big moment for Holden Miller right here, hoping to get something.
Crimson Cliffs showing some shifts on the defensive line. Guys moving around, then Canyon View stops, looks to the sideline, and gets a new play. Holden Miller in the shotgun with 2 receivers right, 1 left. Adrian Ward on his left hip. The snap and the give to Ward. Starts right, nothing there. Cuts back left, finds a big hole. He's got room to the 30. Ripped down or drugged down about the 28 and a first down.
That safety, Malachi, another one of those names that I struggle with. But senior safety able to drag him down, stop the touchdown for the Falcons.
19 yards for Adrian Ward. He is so quick.
I love watching him and Hatch work. They just get the ball and they go. They're like a bullet.
And a timeout on the field. We've got it looks like an administrator coming
There's
out.
a drone on the field right there.
A drone over the field, and PA announcer says, get that out of here immediately.
I've seen the photographers at SU use drones all the time. I assume, okay, it's just a drone. It's nothing. But that's zooming out of there already.
Yeah, a little too close. He was right over the 50-yard line with that drone. And
just trying to get a better view of the game.
I wondered if, we've seen other times this season where administrators have told the officials stop the game until folks get masks on. I wondered if that might be the case, but I'm seeing a lot of masks in the crowd, and apparently that's not an issue tonight, at least right now.
Only issue right now is the drone.
This is the $5 Pizza third quarter. $5 Pizza now has 2 locations in Cedar City, 1390 South Providence Center Drive and at 1830 North Main Street in Cedar for your convenience. First down and 10, Canyon View at the 28 of Crimson Cliffs. Adrian Ward gets the handoff, plants his foot, and heads straight up the field inside the 20 to the 16, and another first down.
Something said in the locker room really lit a fire under Ward. He's on fire coming out of this half. He's got to plant one foot, and he's going.
That's 6 carries for 76 yards. 2 of those here in this second half have been for 31 yards. So down to the 16-yard line and a first down. Canyon View trails 38-3, 4:17 left to play in this $5 Pizza third quarter. 2 receivers wide right, 1 to the left. Miller calls for the snap, and it's an option left. Pitch to Ward. Not very good spatial relations, but Ward comes up with the pitch and runs into his own man after a short gain to the 14.
A little surprised to see a shovel option there out of Canyon View, but it worked out for a solid gain. Normally that's a lot of trust in their quarterback, especially in ensuring that trust in the backup. Holden Miller played off there.
Right. Yeah, and certainly the relationship, the spacing wasn't very good. Miller and Ward almost ran into each other, but then Ward created some space as that pitch came in, and it worked out. Second down and 7. Looks like Hatch back in there. Miller throws over the middle, deflected, incomplete, and a flag comes in late. The pass was intended for Tyler Main.
It was 13 Dexton Draper on the deflection, hoping to see what the flag is, though.
We've got, there's a road. Did you see that blue light shining on the field? What was that?
I thought that was a drone coming back.
Pass interference called against Crimson Cliffs.
Had to be on 13 Dexton Draper then.
So that takes them half the distance to the goal, down to the 6-yard line.
Hoping to get their first touchdown of the game here. 3 minutes left in the third.
First and goal, Canyon View.
Receivers have a man on them each.
Give to Ward up the middle. He broke a tackle initially. Keeps his feet inside the 5, down near the 2 or maybe the 3-yard line, and a 3-yard gain.
That looked like a play going nowhere. There's defenders in the backfield down, and these running backs, both teams, just keeping the motor going.
Let's go, defense!
Time running down. 2:45 left in the $5 Pizza third quarter. Crimson Cliffs on top, 38-3. They scored 14. Then Canyon View hit a field goal, then 21 or 28 unanswered, 24 unanswered since that point. False start, Canyon View, and they get so close and then they shoot themselves in the foot.
Guess I'll play, and a lot of times false start or something brings them back to exactly where they started.
That's 5 false start penalties just tonight. They had 4 in the first half. Well, here's 1 more in the second half.
On the bright side for the Falcons, they're not going to have to run as much for these false starts as anyone would during the regular season, because sadly this is it after them.
We can rack up all the false starts we want. We're not sprinting for it in practice on Monday.
Except if you're a underclassman, you still will.
Miller back to throw. Pressure comes. He gets rid of it, and it's almost picked off, but incomplete.
Hit quickly, had nowhere to go. Hit as he threw, just knocked it away.
So it'll be third down and goal from the 8. Miller just 4 of 13 for 43 yards tonight. That's a big credit to Crimson Cliff's defense. And Miller's missed a few times. Throws have been too high. Ward behind and to the left of Miller. 2 receivers right, 2 out left. And again, Crimson Cliff shows some pressure. Canyon View just waits and then looks to the sideline for the play call.
And those linebackers trying to catch the lineman off guard, hoping for another false start.
Minute and a half left, third quarter. Miller back to throw, tons of pressure. It's picked off, and his guy might go the distance. The 30, the 40, Miller chasing him down. Ward will catch him at the 40 of Canyon View.
Excellent play for the Mustangs. Picks the pick as well. Also the pressure as he's hit, as he's throwing, just messes him up completely, blows up everywhere that was possible.
So a nice drive that was run, stalls, and then the pass ends up in a pick, and Crimson Cliffs returns it all the way to Canyon View's 40.
That's a struggle when you are a run-first offense. Get the running backs too comfortable, and the quarterback is too comfortable handing it off as well. That they're not ready for that throw that when they need it.
1st and 10, Crimson Cliffs at the Canyon View 40. Hanson gives up the middle. Creed Leonard back in there, and he broke a tackle or two inside the 35 to the 33.
Gabriel Lake on the tackle there. Tripped him up by his ankles.
5 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown tonight for Creed Leonard. Packer Butler out wide to the left. He's got 3 catches for 3 touchdowns and 87 yards.
They're stacking the box now because they're going to run it out, try and run out the clock.
2 receivers right. Hanson gives to Leonard again. Starts up the middle, nothing there. Bounces out to the right, and a great open field tackle by Canyon View. Prevents Leonard from picking up the first down.
Gabriel Lake again. Solid tackle. Kept his legs driving as a defender. That cuts down the yardage as well. Helps out everywhere.
That will likely take us, it looks like it will, take us to the end of the $5 Pizza third quarter. $5 Pizza with 2 locations in Cedar City. 38-3, Crimson Cliffs on top of Canyon View here in round 1 of the state championship playoffs. Fourth quarter coming up on Thunder 91.
$5 Pizza now has 2 locations in Cedar City. $5 offers pizza in 8-inch to 16-inch sizes. And in addition to the 30-inch Beast, they also have cinnamon bread, cheese bread, and chicken wings. $5 Pizza for carry-out and delivery too. $5 Pizza located at 1390 South Providence Center and now on North Main Street as well. $5 Pizza, happy to support athletics and other activities of local high schools. Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event.
Fourth quarter getting underway. Crimson Cliffs with the football, a 3rd and 2 at the Canyon View 33. Lots of movement both sides of the football, and a flag flies in. Easton Drew Bay throws his helmet back, knowing he just committed the false start for Crimson Cliffs.
That strong back right there is not much you can go off of. You're not watching the center's ball. You're not going off with the quarterback in your normal spot. Little weird to get used to it sometimes.
2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Change of play call here for 3rd and 7 instead of the 3rd and 2 it was. Hanson in the shotgun. Snap and looking left, deep down the left sideline. A man is wide open. Diving catch at about the 5. No, it was incomplete. The official comes in, says it hit the turf, and Jackson Ritchie can't believe it. He thought he had the catch.
I thought he had the catch too right there. I didn't see the ball pop out. All I saw was the ref come in waving his arms. She's Hanson going for that deep ball again, hoping just to ice it even more.
And again, the cornerback, it's almost as if the cornerback thinks he's got that help over the top, like a cover 2 with 2 deep, and then the deep isn't there on the defense.
That safety was the only one there, but he was too late trying to get there because he was the only one covering him.
4th and 7, trips left. Creed Leonard out to the left. Hansen avoids pressure, throws downfield, ball tipped, and caught. What a grab by Gunnar Orr.
What a catch. Gabriel Lake was right on him trying to block it. I thought he blocked it, and the ball kept floating in the air. Juggled it until he came down with the catch.
20 yards to the 17. And Gunnar Orr with his 3rd catch tonight. Chase Hansen, 11 of 20 for 189 yards and 3 touchdowns. Moves the chains, and that was a 4th and 7. Crimson Cliffs picks up the first down. 38-3, Mustangs lead, and they're knocking on the door at the Canyon View 17, 1st and 10. Time running down in the 4th quarter. Give to Leonard up the middle. Starts left, goes back to his right, straight ahead to the 11 before he's brought down. A gain of 6.
Easy gain of 6 there. But I would say these Mustangs have been moving so efficiently. I didn't realize the last play was 4th down. Even though it was 4th down, they don't have the energy out there that it was, we need to make this play now. So we will make this play anyways.
There's so much confidence in this team right now. That makes for a dangerous team moving forward in the playoffs. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Hansen in the shotgun, Leonard on his right hip. Drew Bay in motion. Trips left, throw out to Drew Bay, left side. He's got room, makes the catch at the 10, makes a man miss to the 5, and drags a man into the end zone. Touchdown, Easton Drew Bay.
What a route, what work after the catch. Dodge a couple defenders on his way to the end zone. Almost tackled as he caught the ball.
He had to make a quick move right after making that catch. And, boy, he sure did. So Easton Drew Bay with his first touchdown of the night. An 11-yard touchdown pass. And how about Chase Hansen, his 4th touchdown pass tonight?
Not bad for a backup.
Backup nothing. He's your starter, right?
Yeah.
Extra point is up and good. And Crimson Cliffs pushes the lead further. 45-3. Again, our final score a couple months ago, a month and a half, September 11th, 40-7, Crimson Cliffs with the win. They've done that just a little more tonight with time left to go.
These playoffs coming up, I'm excited. I like seeing Chase Hansen still throwing passes even in this blowout, because that instills more confidence in him going forward when their defense is held. Desert Hills to 14 points, Dixie to 25, Pineview to 21, who, if they win, they're going on to face next week. They've scored more than 21 tonight. That's all they need.
3 minutes, 45 seconds off the clock, 6 plays, 40 yards. Capped off with that touchdown, a 11-yard from Chase Hansen to Easton Drew Bay, 45-3. Crimson Cliffs. Now, one thing is probably, not for sure, but to be expected, that Crimson Cliffs will not get this kind of consistent, excellent field position against other teams going forward, especially a team like Pineview, who they'd face next week if they can hold on tonight. Kickoff, Callison Fields at the 8 to the 20, out the right side to the 30, finds some room, and out to the 35, drugged down at the 38-yard line.
Solid return there. His blockers were all there right where they need to be. They're able to find a lane and push forward.
So Holden Miller comes back out. His night, 4 of 14, 43 yards, 2 interceptions. Canyon View starts from its own 39-yard line. 4th quarter. Make sure to stay tuned for our Brad's Food Hut post-game wrap-up, including the Bullock Drug and Township Pharmacy player of the game. Miller calls for the snap. Everybody moves except the center. Ball never got there.
I've been on that side as a center. I was a center in high school. A couple of my first games with a quarterback, I heard the snap. I heard the clap. I didn't know we were going on a clap.
Uh-huh.
I felt like a fool, and I know exactly how that center is feeling right now.
That's a 6th false start of the night for the Falcons.
Got one for every old lineman.
That's plus the tight end, right? Miller back to throw. Deep down the right side. He's got a man open. Incomplete. Just overthrown to Tyler Main.
Just a couple steps behind. That would have been a solid gain. would have been 25-yard reception, to instill some momentum in this Canyon View, which is what they're hoping for now. Go out with a little bit of a bang.
I think you mentioned that during the half, Thomas, right? You said, at the half it was 35-3, and it would have taken a miracle. So what is Canyon View working toward? Well, building on, figuring out what they can build on for next year.
Looking at their roster, they don't have a senior quarterback.
Miller throws again, quick slant, looking for Maine, too far out in front, incomplete.
All their quarterbacks, including Holden Miller, are juniors or sophomores.
Right.
Jay Garrett's a sophomore himself. The other quarterback listed, Bodie Burrows, he's also a junior.
Now some guys who will graduate: Tyler Main, Jake Tom, a senior as well. Cody Callison, you got some certain talent that's moving on. Braylon Poulos. Adrian Ward, though, a junior. Gunnar Hatch, a senior, so he'll graduate.
Looks like more movement on the line again.
This time on the defensive line, it looks like. 3rd down and 15, but that'll change to 3rd and 10 on an encroachment. Back to the 39, sorry.
A lot of seniors on this Canyon View team, and I've been on that side where you're losing your final game 45-3. I've been on worse scores, though. It doesn't hurt any less, though.
Miller takes the snap, back to throw, down the right sideline, looking for Maine again, and with pressure and lots of contact, he makes the catch in traffic, immediately hit and knocked down at the Crimson Cliffs 38.
Looked like he might have been hit before he actually caught it. He looked like he bounced back and actually before he had possession. Amazing catch by Tyler Main right there.
The concentration there to pull that in, and it looked like, to me, pass interference. A lot of contact and hand fighting as the ball came in. Give to Adrian Ward, not much there. A gain of 1, 2, still on his feet, whistles come. He's at the 36, a gain of 2.
No room to run there. They're hoping to get another big gain to capitalize on that last 20-yard reception. But nothing there for anyone.
That's 84 carries, or 84 yards on just 9 carries for Adrian
84
Ward.
carries is
that's a lot. Not that many. I'm a little 9 carries, 84 yards.
Solid averages there.
Excellent. 2 receivers left for 2nd down and 7. 1 receiver right, Ward in the backfield. Miller calls for it. Steps back, flush to his left, throws deep down the left side, stepping in front, almost picked off. A couple of Mustangs ran into each other, and that knocked the ball loose.
13 Dexon Draper there again. Almost had that pick. Would have had a route to go and move it down, possibly a pick 6.
Yeah, a lot of green field in front of him.
These defenders on the interceptions, they've had a lot of interception return yards as well.
3 interceptions by this Crimson Cliffs defense. Running clock, 6:20 left to play in the 4th quarter. Miller back to throw on 3rd and 7. Still backing up, throws the screen, and it drops incomplete. Ward couldn't hang on.
Screen that took too long to develop. By the time Ward was open, Miller had to throw it too late.
Ward has been targeted 2 or 3 times tonight, and both, at least 2 that I'm thinking of, in and out of his hands.
Yep.
45-3, under 6 minutes to play. And Canyon View's season, under 6 minutes from ending. Crimson Cliffs, 5 minutes and 47 seconds away from winning its first ever playoff football game. 2 receivers left, 1 wide right. Miller on 4th and 7 throws. Tyler Main with the catch and a little bit more to the 24 and a 1st down.
Solid yards after catch with that spin as he's hit to lunge forward.
And I said Tyler Main, but it was Cody Callison on the catch. His 2nd of the night, had that long 35-yard reception from Jake Garrett earlier. 46 receiving yards. So the Falcons on a 4th down pick it up, move the chains. Miller back to throw again. Flush left, and he'll tuck it and slide down about the 21.
I think that's the first time we've seen Miller tuck it and run today.
A late flag comes in way behind the line of scrimmage, back about the 30.
I think that might have been a holding because I saw a pancake there right before.
And you see Canyon View starting to backpedal. And you're right.
75, Gavin Foster, the junior.
Yeah. Not just a hold, a personal foul late hit as well. So the hold took place 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so that's a 13 yards. Then personal foul 15 yards onto that. That's 28 yards and penalties on one play, clear back to Canyon View's own 48.
That hurts everyone involved on the Canyon View team. The game's been iced already, but that almost hurts any chances of scoring. You know, they were there at the 20. Now they're all the way back to the midfield. Yard
to gain is the 14. They're on their own 48. That's a 38 yards to go on first down. Miller looking to throw, flushed to his right, gets out of the pocket and throws it away. This is going to be an intentional grounding. I don't see any Canyon View receivers within 10 yards.
He broke the pocket there as he looked downfield trying to stepped up ready to throw, but had to stop last second with the defender right there. Flushed out. That negates the intentional grounding.
So a second down and 38. .418 left to play. Again, we invite you to stay tuned for our Brad's Food Hut and Carter Creek Concrete to Go post-game wrap-up. We'll have the Bullock Drug and Township Pharmacy player of the game. Trips right, one receiver left. Miller back to throw, looks left, throws right, looking again for Tyler Main, who again in traffic and getting mugged as he runs his route, makes the catch at about the 22.
Canyon View wide receivers haven't gotten a lot of opportunities downfield, but they're able to make catches in traffic.
And again, I say Tyler Main when it's Cody Callison making the catch at the 24. Big gain. 28 yards.
Right back at the original first down marker.
For 3rd and 10. Miller back to throw, looking the same direction. Callison double covered. Miller tucks, runs, spins away from one tackler, and ripped down out of bounds inside the 20.
I like seeing Miller finally breaking the pocket and running it. He's had a couple chances before where he could have tucked in and ran. Now he's doing it, taking charges of the offense, taking matters into his own hands.
So Miller picks up 6 or 7 to the 17. That's a 7-yard gain. And sets up a manageable 4th and 3. Time running down, under 3 minutes to play. 2 receivers left on 4th and 3. Miller calls for it, throws the quick slant and into traffic, looking for Jake Tom, incomplete. And Canyon View will turn it over on downs.
A lot of defenders right there where he was throwing, nowhere to go. I think that was his only option, though. Not much he could do.
2:49 left to play. Canyon View took up just about 7 minutes of time off the clock on that drive. But Crimson Cliffs will take over from its own 12-yard line and just needs to run a few plays and win its first ever playoff football game.
Looks like they got their actual backup in there now, Braxton Starley at quarterback.
Braxton Starley, I saw him warming up quite a bit during warm-ups, and he's got a nice arm. He gives up the middle and a gain out across the 20 to the 23 for Gavin Yardley, a junior running back.
Head coach Jaron Tate's going to start bringing in his backups and third strings, getting them some time, rest these starters, especially with 2 minutes left of a playoff game moving forward in the playoffs. They want everyone rested.
So Crimson Cliffs with trips right. Starley takes the snap and gives again to Yardley. He's not thinking take a knee or run out the clock. He goes all the way across the 35 to the 36. 13 yards.
Explosive out of that backfield. Had no chance of stopping him at the line. He was going.
That's 2 carries for 19 yards, and he's got a quick step. He plants that foot and cuts very quickly. A minute and a half left to play.
Crimson Cliffs has a solid running back room entirely. Love to see it.
Yardley a smaller back, but so quick. The snap, and
Starley took the read option.
keeping it himself. 2 flags fly in as Starley gets across the 40, near the 45. Falcons bring him down there, but 2 flags down.
I think that's 2 separate flags. They threw it in at separate times.
Holding against Crimson Cliffs. And the both flags for the same infraction.
As soon as I said, the ref decided to move his flag to where the other one was.
Right. Now the hold took place about a yard behind the line of scrimmage at the 35, so they mark it back to the 25. 78 yards in penalties tonight against Crimson Cliffs.
Starley, you said, had a strong arm. Shows what he can do with his legs right there, too. Starley makes a man miss. He's going down 40, 45, 50. Out of the 50 now. Crimson Cliffs got all those yards back after Starley. Read option was called back for holding. No flags on that play.
And that's actually number 40, Nick Baum, on the carry. He goes all the way out to the 49. That's 24 yards for Baum.
Can't ask for much more right there out of one of their many backs getting into the rotation.
Starley takes the snap and gives again. This is that Baum or Yardley across midfield to the Canyon View 45 with 25 seconds left to play. That was Yardley. 6 yards for Yardley. That might just do it right there.
It's like it. 13 seconds left. Crimson Cliffs is walking off the field. They're celebrating. Canyon View slowly walking off the field now.
Dejection and a frustrating way to finish this season. Canyon View won its first 3, then lost its last 8, including tonight. 45-3. Zeros on the clock and a big 45 for Crimson Cliffs. They earned the win and their first playoff win in football for the Mustangs. Stay tuned. We've got your Brad's Food Hut and Cartacrete Concrete to go post-game wrap-up, including the Bullock Drug and Township Pharmacy Player of the Game, right after this on Thunder 91.
$5 Pizza now has 2 locations in Cedar City. $5 offers pizza in 8-inch to 16-inch sizes. And in addition to the 30-inch Beast, they also have cinnamon bread, cheese bread, and chicken wings. $5 Pizza for carry-out and delivery, too. $5 Pizza located at 1390 South Providence Center and now on North Main Street as well. $5 Pizza, happy to support athletics and other activities of local high schools. Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Brad's Food Hut is happy to present this broadcast. Brad's is a traditional fixture in Cedar City and features the Bronco Burger, fish and chips, grilled cheese, and grilled turkey sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, shakes, and of course, soft drinks. Brad's is located on North Main Street in Cedar City.
45-3 the final score. Crimson Cliffs with the win over Canyon View. They scored early and scored often. They scored 14 straight on their first 2 possessions. In fact, Crimson Cliffs scored on each of its first 5 possessions, led 35-3 at the half, took their foot off the gas in the second half, and cruised to a 45-3 win. Thomas, we talked in the pregame about the defenses. Canyon View has struggled defensively all season long, allowing 50 points per game in Region 9. Crimson Cliffs has allowed 22 points per game in Region 9 against teams like number 2 Pineview, number 3 Snow Canyon. They held Pineview to 21. They hold Canyon View tonight to just 3. And Crimson Cliffs with the win, 45-3.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what Crimson Cliffs goes on and does, especially saying they held Pineview to 21 points.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Pineview is a well-coached team. Crimson Cliffs looks like to be also a well-coached team. Hoping to see that matchup. That's going to be a fun to watch.
That will be interesting. That's a tough matchup for Pineview. You look at, again, a 21-7 win for Pineview over Crimson Cliffs, and that was at Pineview, if I remember right. And so Crimson Cliffs competed with that number 2 team in the state pretty well. That'll be an interesting matchup next week. As for Canyon View, they will head home and, well, start prepping for basketball and winter sports and thinking about next year's football team. This is your Bullock or your Brad's Food Hut and Concrete to Go post-game wrap-up. Look at some final stats. For Canyon View, Holden Miller got most of the snaps tonight. He goes 7 of 22 for 105 yards, 2 interceptions. Jake Garrett, who we're assuming was injured in that second quarter sack, went 3 of 8 for 99 yards with 1 interception to wrap up his sophomore year. Running the football, Adrian Ward actually was a big spark plug and finished 9 carries for 85 yards for this Canyon View team. Gunnar Hatch does go over the 1,000-yard mark this season. Not tonight, but this season he finishes with about 1,073 yards in his senior year. Now let's look to real quickly the Bullock Drug and Township Pharmacy Player of the Game. And if we restricted ourselves to a Canyon View player, you'd probably look to Adrian Ward. Definitely. I would think. But we're not restricted in that way. So you got to think that a couple candidates like Easton Drew Bay, who had 67 rushing yards plus a receiving touchdown, is a candidate. You got to think that Packer Butler, who caught the ball 3 times, all 3 of those for 6 points apiece, 87 yards and 3 touchdowns. But you also got to look at Chase Hansen.
I think it's got to go Chase Hansen. He had a phenomenal night, stepping up, assumed last minute after Tyler Brown had to transfer, thrust into a starting role out of nowhere, and dominated, led to a 45-3 win.
And his stats tell a good story. 12 of 21, 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's unofficial stats, just numbers that I kept as we did the game. But I think the bigger story from Chase Hansen is the way he led the offense. They scored on all 5 of their first possessions, and coming in as a backup, there are always question marks of how is that quarterback going to step in and be a leader. Chase Hansen answered the call tonight in a big way. 45 points, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions, plus he ran for another score. 5 total touchdowns accounted for. That's a great night from a junior.
Yeah, we saw what happens when you throw a backup quarterback that's not up to that standard in Holden Miller.
Yeah.
You know, you hate to see Falcons season end like this, but for the Mustangs, you love to see this energy moving forward. And I'm really excited to see what they do going forward.
Next week, let's mention this since we know this will be the case. Canyon View season is done, so Cedar plays host to Dixie next Friday night, and that will be our broadcast here on Thunder 91. The scheduled time is Friday at 6 p.m. That may change depending on athletic directors discussing things with each other and making that plan, but that's what we'll plan for next Friday night right here on Thunder 91. Thomas, any final thoughts on tonight's game?
Congrats to both teams. Canyon View, I've been on that side of the sideline, going home heads down. You guys had a phenomenal season. I loved watching them. Crimson Cliffs, congrats. I loved watching you tonight. I hope to see. I'm a Pineview bias still, so I want to see Pineview win, but I'm excited to see that matchup next week. Good luck.
45-3, the final score. Crimson Cliffs wins its first ever football playoff game in just its second year of UHSAA football. So I echo your thoughts there, Thomas. Congratulations to Crimson Cliffs, and good luck going forward. Thank you for being here tonight, Thomas Dianella.
Thank you for having me.
I want to thank Hannah McKeever being back in the studio tonight as well, running things at KSUU Thunder 91. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Ryan Steinekert, and we'll see you next time.